starting lineup of your favorite show. At producer, 5'11" from Blanchester, the Cow Killer, Casey McCollister. And comic engineer, standing at 4'8", the pride of the West Side, Elliot Rearing. And your host, weighing 150 pounds, soaking wet, from Hamilton, Ohio, Ace Fowler.
Well, hello and welcome into Off the Bench, presented by United Dairy Farmers. I'm Reed Mouse. Same cast as yesterday, Casey McCollister in the room, Jacob Tissett, Jimmy Collins, everyone saying hello. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day here in lovely Hamilton, Ohio, the city of sculpture, the city of brotherly apples, the city that never brotherly sleeps. We got a fun show for you today. The Reds lost yesterday, but they can still take the series and stack those series wins, which is important, especially when they're trying to get back to 500. We're going to talk Bengals. Jacob's in the room, and we really haven't got a whole lot of takes on his opinions on free agents and draft picks, so we're going to interject. Me and Casey are going to have our opinions, and then I think Jimmy's even going to toss his ring in the hat when it comes. Toss his hat in the ring. Ring in the hat. Toss his hat in the ring when it comes to some Bengals talk. So we're also going to take call-ins later. All that's here on today's show. Casey, how are you on this lovely Wednesday afternoon?
Reed, I'm doing pretty good. I worked out yesterday. I did a new regiment.
You look like you worked out.
Yeah, thank you.
You look good.
Thank you. I started a new regiment. It's a bulking program, so I'm trying to get like you. Big and strong. And, so I've also got my yogurt here. I feel really good today.
Does the Yoplait help with the bulking?
It does have some calcium in it. So I don't think so.
Are you taking any creatine, protein?
I am taking protein, yeah. I'm taking some protein. I actually didn't take it yesterday. I take it in the morning. I don't know if that's really a good thing to do, but
you take it. You're supposed to take it right after you work out, but it works.
Yeah, I just sat out and do it every morning instead because it's easier to just get up and do it in the morning. I will start my two-a-days again, but I wanted to start this bulking program. It's a little more heavy, intensive weights, so yeah.
Hey, you're doing a little challenge with your friends, correct?
I am doing a challenge with my friends.
It?
Last week, I think I killed it. The first week, when I saw what everyone else was doing, it made me very upset. So I decided I was going to do two-a-days. And that second week, I think I killed it. Everyone else, they all have jobs where they're up and moving a lot. Nurses, they're lifting patients and whatnot. So they're already getting ahead of me in terms of calories and steps and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I have to go, and we do stuff a lot outside of this show. We go and do events and whatnot, and that helps somewhat. But man, every day I got to compete with guys that are immediately getting 1,000 calories and 10,000 steps. It's just tough.
That's tough. Yeah. That is tough. Have I ever told you the story about my wife asking me to do creatine?
Yes. Yeah. I love that story.
Yeah. I took creatine back right out of college, and I was in my best shape. And then a couple years had gone by, and she looks at me one day, and I think I got out of the shower, and she goes, "I think you should start taking creatine." And again, I said, that's the confidence boost I needed to start this morning. Jacob, how are you on this lovely Wednesday?
I'm doing all right. Reds lost last night, but we'll win a series today, so we're all good.
What was the count on the 3s, the 2s, and the 1s yesterday?
2 beers and 2 hot dogs for $10, as the Lord intended. It doesn't get much better than that. Made 3 runs, I think, so 6 dogs, 6 beers, $30. Hard to complain.
When people complain about today's economy, they haven't been to Great American Ballpark on Tuesday night.
Obviously not. Best deal in sports.
No doubt about it. Jimmy C, I think you guys don't realize how connected Jimmy C is. Jimmy C is the most connected man in Cincinnati. That I am certain of. And one day we'll just figure out how connected he is. I don't even know the extent of his connections, but he's connected. We'll see. Jimmy, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Now, you are Notre Jimmy. Yeah. That is your nickname of choice, Notre Jimmy, big Notre Dame guy.
Given to me by my dad, who's Notre James.
He's Notre James.
It's kind of a joke.
So you guys have the same name, but
yes.
He goes by James, you go by Jimmy.
Yes.
But you are not a junior.
No, not a junior.
That's tough. Would you have wanted to be a junior, or do you like having a different middle name?
I like having a different middle name.
Okay.
I like being able to, because everyone asks me if I'm a junior, so I like being able to tell them no.
Would you go by junior?
No.
Fair.
It took me two things that it took me to realize is that when people are named like Deuce McAllister, he's just the second.
Yeah.
He's just the second in his family. Then Trey oftentimes is the third.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Look at that. Learn something new every day.
I think King Griffey Jr.'s kid's name is Trey. I think they call him Trey. So, yeah, I didn't know that. You learn something new every day. And what we are learning new today is the world of sports. Headlines brought to you. So everyone's wondering, I saw everyone in the chat worrying about Elliott. I called Elliott yesterday. He's feeling under the weather. He has a flawless record of coming into work. And he even texted and said, like, I haven't been sick since 3rd grade. And I called him, and I think he thought I was trying to get him to come into work, but I really was just like, "Hey, you okay? You doing all this stuff?" Because he answers the phone and goes, "Hey, I feel pretty bad right now, but I'm trying to come in. Hopefully I can come in." I was like, "Dude, stay. Like, if you're sick, rest up." Please, we don't bring the sickness into the office. We need you here, healthier than ever. We know he's the star of the show. We know you come here and watch for the Elliott rearing, but he's sick. He's feeling under the weather. He should be back tomorrow. Hopefully he's back tomorrow. But Casey, take us through those headlines.
Some of the comments, man, that you guys have about Elliott, they're just wild. Just letting y'all know that chat, that's out of pocket. All the things that you're saying.
Speaking of the chat. This is something I was just asking Jacob about this. I don't get the Cubs fans for Mason joke. That goes over my head. Jacob's told me that's like a very known joke.
Yeah, I've heard it my whole life. I don't really know the origins of it.
No idea. I assume it's because when you go to the ballpark and the Cubs play, there's a lot of Cubs fans there.
Yeah, you got to pick
"Oh,
somewhere where
these
they're
aren't from Cincinnati.
Yeah.
They're from Mason. They're all the implants from Mason." But that one goes over my head. I swear it goes over my head. I think the only thing I have never brought this up. I don't necessarily like people from Mason. One time I went to a bourbon tasting out there, and I told a guy that I was from Hamilton, and he literally laughed. And I was like, all right, this dude sucks. But Casey, headlines.
Headlines, yes, that's right. That's what I do here. The 4-game win streak comes to an end, unfortunately, for the Redlegs.
I have an update.
Jimmy's on graphics
Don't
now.
do it.
We've got
Don't do it,
Jimmy
Jimmy.
updated on the graphics, and he's there. It is.
No,
There it is.
it's tough.
Only 2 weeks away. We're only 2 weeks away.
Maybe we'll see like 4, then a loss, another 4, and a loss, and another 4, and then
I'll take it.
I'll take that.
We're
That'd
5
be good.
FCC wins away.
Yeah, we're 5 FCC wins. I want to get an FC counter on there too, because we play a game tonight at 7:30. That's
Ooh.
a little bit of headlines here.
Look at
A little
that.
early. But yeah, the Redlegs, they fall last night to the Cardinals 7-1. Their offense was pretty much non-existent last night. I tuned in, I think, at like the 4th or the 5th inning, and it was 3-1, I believe, something like that. And they had just did everything that we had praised them for, or they did everything the opposite of what we praised them for. They had like 10 strikeouts, something like that, something ridiculous. They were undisciplined at the plate. It was not a good night for them. Andrew Abbott pitched well up until he came back out for the 7th inning. He was responsible for the 3 runs in that inning alone and was responsible for the 6 earned runs for the game. That's tough. Kyle Gibson had a no-hitter going through the 5th inning, but Will Benson gave the Reds their only solo shot in the 6th. Maybe Will Benson's pretty good. Reds and Cardinals are back at it today at 1:10. We will be doing a watch-along for that for the members.
Yes, we will. So, yeah, game's at 1:10. So we will watch that along with the guys you see in the room. Jeremiah probably will be in there as well. But, yeah, we'll watch the game together as the Reds go for the series win. So we're excited about that one. We have fun with those watch-alongs.
Yeah,
Put
and-
some bets together. We'll have some fun.
Yeah. Frankie Montas and Andre I'm not going to try to pronounce Pallante? Anyone know that guy's name for the Cardinals? I
Off
don't.
the top of my head, I do not. But if you give me Pallante,
Pallante?
Sure, we'll
I
go
was
with that
close.
one.
I was close. They will be pitching tonight in the rubber match. So, members, come watch us. Enjoy the game with us. We'll have some bets for you. Around the league, the Dodgers had not lost 5 games in a row in 5 years. Wow. They were in danger of adding on to it yesterday, but managed to come back and beat the Mets 5-2 in Game 1 of a doubleheader. They won the second doubleheader game as well.
The
so
Mets
they
are
avoid
on a
that.
skid. The Mets, I think, the Mets were a few games above 500.
That's right.
2 weeks ago. Now they're 22-31. And the
wild.
Mets were a team that I thought people were sleeping on. Because last year, the whole talk was how great are the Mets going to be. I think they won 100 games 2 years ago, and then they go and spend $1 billion. They get Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, all these pieces. They're giving Brandon Nimmo $200 million or whatever he got, and they weren't good. And everyone just seemed to forget about the New York Mets. But I held out hope that they'd be pretty good. They made a late signing in J.D. Martinez, who will probably not be on the Mets come trade deadline.
Respect to J.D. Martinez, of course.
Tiger.
Tiger.
Man,
of
you
my
guys have had a lot of good.
Everyone's a Tiger.
One of my favorite home runs ever was hit by J.D. Martinez.
For a team that has a lot of good players in the MLB, you certainly don't win a whole lot.
Well, we had that 5-year stretch where we were winning a whole lot.
Was J.D. Martinez a part of that? Or was he?
was,
I
yeah.
thought he was Sands that. I thought
He
or
was
not
the
Sands that, but after that.
He was the later side
Okay.
of that. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was like 14.
Was he still playing third
14,
base at that
15,
time?
16.
No, because that was.
He played
man,
outfield for us. Yeah.
You remember Prince Fielder and Mickey playing corner infield?
Oh, yeah.
What a time that was.
remember when-
Miggy,
A lot of LBs on those corners.
Big Miggy playing
Yeah.
third. That was an era where Pablo Sandoval was still playing third base. So we had some big third basemen. Bring back the big third baseman. Bring them back, baby.
Did you guys ever see the video of Prince Fielder stealing the guy's nachos?
Yes.
Yeah.
Were those your nachos?
No.
Are you telling us
I'm
that
not
those
that
were your
connected.
nachos?
I'm not that connected.
What if Jimmy was like, yeah, that's my best friend. I know him.
Oh, for sure.
I know that guy. All right, back to the headlines.
Yeah, back to the headlines. The Red Sox crushed the Orioles 8-3. The Athletics shout out the Rays.
Shout out.
Shut out the Rays. Excuse me. Pardon me. Shut out the Rays 3-0. Rays are now 1-7 in their last 8. Braves shut out the Nationals 2-0.
Dude, I think they have like 10 shutouts this year. The Braves do.
Yeah, they
Everyone talks
are-
about their lineup. Their lineup's not hitting that well right now. I mean, it's still one of the best lineups in the league, but it's not hitting at the clip. The reason they're winning so many games is their pitching.
What's the record? Does anyone know what like the record for shutouts is?
Shutouts is, I don't know. I know Bob Gibson in 1968, I think, had 17 shutouts. Bob Gibson in 1968, maybe the best baseball season ever. He pitched so well that they lowered the mound. They said that it was an unfair advantage that Bob Gibson was pitching at an angle like that. So they lowered the mound, and we've had the same mound since. Also, Bob Gibson has one of my favorite baseball quotes ever. Bob Gibson, very famous for hitting guys. They asked him, interviewed him one time. They said, why did you try to hit so many people back in your career? And he said, I didn't try to hit people. I hit them.
Wild. Moving on. Twins beat the Royals 4-2. Cubs scored 5 in the top of the 10th to secure their first victory in the last 6 games. This one over the Brewers. Congrats to the Cubs.
Thank you. Thank you for that. That was a very sincere congrats. Normally we get some jabs when Elliot's doing the headlines, but that was very sincere, so thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were due for one. I mean, you're about to lose, 7 to the Reds, so.
No hitter
Yeah.
through 7 innings by the rookie. I thought they were going
Ben
to blow
Brown's-
it.
Ben
Would've been
Brown.
fun.
Have you seen Ben Brown pitch?
Yeah, he's some good stuff. He's got some real good stuff.
I'm a
Available
little-
on
Thanks for the-
93% of
thanks for the-
waiver wires.
He's a stud. 90, 98, 99 stuff. God, he's really good. He gets me the youth on the Cubs gets me really excited. Go.
The White Sox get dominated by the Blue Jays 7-2. They have lost 7 in a row and are 1-11 in the last 12. That's pretty tough. Rangers beat the Diamondbacks 4-2. Guardians beat the Rockies in Colorado 13-7. Josh Naylor homered twice, and Jose Ramirez hit a home run of his own. He's now hit 5 home runs in the last 7 games. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Angels
Better
beat.
than Barry Bonds? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he better than Barry
See
Bonds?
that graphic?
It's very funny.
Jose Ramirez is probably the most slept on star in the league.
I would
it's-
say he's the most underrated player
correct.
of the last decade. probably.
Correct, because he plays in Cleveland and he doesn't do what he brings to the field isn't just he hits 55 home runs. Also, he steals a lot of bases for a big guy. I like big fellas. We just talked about big fellas that play the hot corner. Jose Ramirez plays the hot corner and he steals some bags. Jose Ramirez, just a ball player. Just a ball player.
Just a ball player.
Six top 5 MVP finishes since 2017.
And he's consistent.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Joey Rams.
Real good player.
Who's your favorite Indian of all time?
Trevor Bauer. Threw that ball over the wall, one of the best clips in the history of baseball.
Indian?
You picked the worst. Guardian.
Grady Sizemore.
Grady Sizemore. Man, that's a good one. That's a good pull. That's a good pull. All right.
All right. We'll continue on. The Angels beat the Yankees 4-3. The Padres shut out the Marlins 4-0. Mariners take care of the Astros 4-2. Giants shut out the Phillies 1-0. Moving on to the NBA, Kyrie Irving was 14-0 in elimination games coming into yesterday's tilt with the Timberwolves. Unfortunately, he could not extend that streak. The Mavericks fall 105-100 in Game 4 of the series. Timberwolves avoid a sweep, and they make things a little interesting. Anthony Edwards played better, scoring 29 points with 10 boards and 9 assists. Karl Anthony Townsend added 25 points as well. That's almost half of the points for the Timberwolves. Luka scored 28 points, but was the only Maverick to get over the 20-point benchmark. Going over to the NHL, the Panthers win 3-2 in overtime against the Rangers. That series is now split at 2 games apiece. Jacob, are you a little nervous?
Yeah, Rangers haven't looked good these last 3 games. They snuck out a win in Game 3 with about a 60-shot differential in favor of the Panthers, biggest in Eastern Conference Finals history. So, yeah, definitely not looking good, but stole one in Florida, home ice back in New York. I think the boys will be all right.
Are you worried about Sam Reinhart?
No, I'm not. I'm worried about Connor Verhaeghe because he's very, very good.
Okay. Because I wasn't worried about Sam Reinhart either. And neither should you be.
That's fair. That's fair. I need this boost. I need this boost.
2-2. 2-2. A Frogers Stars Stanley Cup will tear it apart. Tear this studio apart.
No, the jerseys will have to come out on the show. I'll bust out my many pieces of Rangers gear.
Here it comes. He doesn't have one.
And we'll get ready to go.
No, I have a Stars shirt.
Come on.
What was that?
Come on.
What was that? No, I bought a Jamie Benn jersey. On one of those overseas $15 jersey things. It takes 3 weeks to get there.
You're paying full price for jerseys in 2024.
And here's the thing. I got it. It was an extra large. I got it in 2018. And over the years of washing it, it started as an extra large hockey jersey. So it's supposed to be very, very big. Wash. Last year I go to the game with Paul, and I go, hell yeah. I get to wear my Jamie Benn jersey out in public. I go, take it, throw it on. It is what could be best described as an adult small through the years of washing it. I mean, it came over my belly button. And I tried to still wear it. I walked out of the room to go downstairs and go meet Paul to go to this Stars game up in Columbus. And my wife says, you are not wearing that thing. I mean, the sleeves probably came to right here. And I said, heck yeah, I am. And she said, go change. And I said, okay. So I went and changed. And I threw that jersey away. So no Jamie Benn jersey anymore. But I'm thinking about getting a Wyatt Johnston jersey. Maybe an old school Mike Modano. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Reds, who'd go for the series win today. That and more when we come back on 1410 Wing AM. We are back here on Off the Bench presented by United Dairy Farmers. Reed Mountain. I can't wait to get out of this desk. So I don't want to spoil exactly what the plan is for this show. And I know we move around what this show is and what it becomes, and we do that quite frequently, a lot of different hosts and everything like that. We're going to try and give it a more solid base. And that'll come up in about 2 weeks, because we got some exciting things that are going on next week. I'm not going to divulge what we're doing next week, but it's very exciting. Maybe we'll have the boss in here to explain. I think you guys will really like what our plan is for next week. I'll give you a hint. It has something to do with golf. That's how I'll tease it. Reds go today at 1:10. And
we have some breaking news about the Reds game today.
What's
TJ Friedel posted on Instagram with a clock emoji in the caption. David Bell said yesterday that it's a possibility he's back in the lineup today. Looks like he's trending that way. So we'll wait till the lineup comes out. But based on his post on Instagram,
He wouldn't post that unless he was playing.
Right. I certainly wouldn't think so. But lineup's not out yet, but looks like Friedel will be in there today. That'd be
Or
a big boost.
he could be going for clicks. You never know.
Could be going for clicks. Could be chasing
You think
clicks.
TJ Friedel's in the click business?
TJ Friedel could be in the
think
click
so.
business, but we'll finally find out who that odd man out is in the Reds outfield when TJ Friedel
Better
gets back.
not be who I think it's going to be.
We'll see. We'll see. Herd of Beast, Benson.
Send Benson down.
We'll see.
I'm out on
Send
Benson.
Benson. Does Benson have options?
Yeah. That's my current vote, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right, we will see what happens. All right, yesterday's game, not a good one. Not a good one, but here's where we're at with the Reds. Obviously, they weren't playing the best baseball going into last weekend. So you can't get down when they lose a game after a 4-game win streak. The opportunity is still right in front of you. I think Jacob said it yesterday. You got to stack series wins. You can't just sweep the best team in baseball in the Los Angeles Dodgers and then go on about your day and think that that's going to bring you all the way back. You got to continue to play, and they're playing good baseball. Yesterday wasn't an example of that, but you get the win today. You win back-to-back series, and you keep trending in the right direction. Overall, yesterday, Jacob, your thoughts. You were in the stadium, 3-2-1 night. Only 2 beers, 2 hot dogs. But overall thoughts from yesterday's game.
It was fun. It was fun for a while, and then it wasn't fun for the rest of the time. The Reds got down early. Arenado showed that he still has some pop in the bat with that home run. So definitely not ideal. Allowing 13 hits to a team who is struggling offensively like the Cardinals is not what you want to see from a starting pitcher like Andre Abbott, who's pitched so well. But in the bottom of the 6th, Will Benson home run to break up the no-hitter. And boy, oh boy, was that exciting. Because when you get past the 5th inning, you get nervous. I started to get a little nervous that old meatball Gibson was gonna no-hit the Reds, and that would not have been a good sign on a Tuesday night.
Have you ever seen a live no-hitter?
I've not. No, I have not.
What's the closest you've gotten? Do you remember everyone getting deep 7th, deep 8th?
No.
You're getting really excited about it?
Nothing that sticks out. No, I was at Martino's at UC in Clifton for Wade Miley's no-hitter in Cleveland, and that was a blast.
That was good.
But yeah, nothing ever in person.
My brother was at Homer Bailey's second no-hitter. I think I've told this story on the show before, but one time my dad took me down to the ballpark. Matt Belisle was pitching. Matt Belisle, 9 up, 9 down, gets through the order the first time. And I turned to my dad, plucky, diehard baseball fan that knows all these stats. And I said, Dad, he's got a perfect game going. And reminder, it is the top of the 4th inning. He has just gotten through 3 innings. And my dad goes, Reed, calm down. I'll tell you what. If he gets through the order a second time, we'll go to the next 3 games because they're about to start a new homestand. It was the final game of a series. I said, deal. So what does Matt Belisle do? He gets through the order one more time. Perfect game through 6. And I looked at my dad and said, we got to come to the next 3 games. How does the game go for the rest? I think Matt Belisle gave up base hit, bomb in the next top of the inning. And perfect game was gone. But I won the bet, and we did go to the games for the next 3 games. But we talked yesterday about how important it is to stack the series wins on top of series wins. So yesterday, you shrug it off. You lose games. We've talked about this before. You play 162 games.
Right.
60. You're going to win 60. You're going to lose 60. What do you do with the other 42 games? Yesterday was one of the games that you're just going to lose. Those happen, right? You got outplayed that day. Nothing you can say about it. Wasn't any bad decision making. No one necessarily played bad. I know Andrew Abbott didn't have a great 7th inning, but you move on. You still have the opportunity to win the series today, and how important that is, Jake.
Right. Yeah. No, it couldn't be more important. I feel like we haven't played division games in quite some time, and now we have a long stretch. Obviously, with the Cubs coming up, Pirates and the Brewers here on the schedule in the next month. Got to win games against the division. Obviously, the Reds struggled in the division last year, losing all those games to the Brewers, and that's ultimately what led to their demise when it came to the playoffs. So winning a series against the Cardinals, getting on track in the division, I think it couldn't be more important than winning today. And Frankie Montas started the year great on the bump today, has not been as good in his last couple of starts. So if he can get back on track, that would be great for this Reds rotation.
Yeah, 3 innings from the bullpen, gave up 2 hits each, but only 1 earned run from Brent Suter, who's been a pretty good signing for the Reds, hometown boy. But yeah, just important for the Reds to get back on top. And to be honest, there's not much more to say. We get excited, they win 4 games in a row. can this team get back? It was around this time last year that they turned things around, and we talked about the parallels between last year's team and this year's team, and you hope that it would have a better April and May. It hasn't been the case. A lot of injuries, a lot of other things, outstanding circumstances, just not hitting the ball well. But if you get a win today, you get back-to-back series wins. You play against another NL Central opponent this weekend who's not playing well in an opportunity, and you got favorable pitching matchups this weekend as well. So you can really start turning the season around. And there's enough time from between now and the end of the year where it doesn't have to be, we joke about the 12-game win streak. It doesn't have to be that. It can just be, hey, you take 2 games here. Hey, you take 2 games here. Hey, you get a sweep. Maybe you lose a series after that. We had a $5 super chat from Chad, ELE Waits. The host is a phony. Fake work truck, fake Cubs fan, fake Ramley member. Man, I hated all 3 of those.
That cuts deep. That cuts deep.
I don't think he realizes.
Those are 3 tenets that you built your life on. Not
Ramley?
Being phony, being a part of the Ramley, and having a work truck. Those are.
I'm pretty phony. I'll own up to that one. But my truck is for work. It is for, you know how, that's such a dumb joke, work truck versus show truck, and my family eats it up. They do. They think that's the funniest joke ever. I mean, every truck I pass, I just go, that's a show truck. And they giggle every time. I mean, it just bats 1,000. But, Chad, I'm sorry that my truck is actually used for work and yours is not. But fake Ramley member? I'm a part of the Ramley. Come on. Where are you cheering on our Rams? Me and Everett, members of the Ramley. And I'm also a Cubs fan. But I'm not from Mason. I don't get that joke. Will someone please explain that joke to me? Just one time.
The explanations in the chat aren't explaining. They just keep saying it. It's
saying
not
it.
helping me understand what happened.
I've asked Sir Boy Wonder before. I said, what is the etymology of this joke? Where does it come from? And he just goes, ha. Every time he just goes, ha. Like I'm supposed to just get it. I just don't understand it.
Take that.
Yeah, I just don't understand it. And then when I go, no, seriously, explain it, he's like, Cubs fans from Mason. I'm like, what? Where does that joke come from? What does it mean? I think you explained it a little bit. It's because there's a lot of transplants in Mason.
I think that's what it is, and people don't want to admit that there's Cubs fans inside of Cincinnati, so they just kind of stick it on Mason.
Alex Wallace backing me up. I saw Reed working out of his truck. Thank you. My favorite thing is the Hamiltonians in this chat is when they acknowledge where my house is, because my house isn't hard to find. If you just look or drive around Hamilton, you will see a Cubs flag flying. And there's not many of those. You see a lot of those in Mason, though. You do see a lot of those in Mason.
Apparently.
Yeah. But, all right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to get into – Casey, you wave your hand? You got something?
There is no breaks today.
Oh,
Reds have won, baby. Reds have won.
On the radio. Yes.
Whoop, 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 whoop. We are so good at the radio that we forget when we are on the radio. So I don't have to sign off at 1410 Wing AM. There is no Kenner and Kev coming up. In fact, the only thing that's coming up after this is a watch-along. Man.
There's more of these buffoons. These buffoons right here.
Finally, they figured out no breaks after I told them. Nate Seltzer, there's 2 guys in our chat. 2 guys in our chat that keep us on task. One's Alex Wallace. Alex Wallace is in the Discord frequently going, hey, I think you guys should do this. Hey, I think you guys should do this. And we take those suggestions very seriously. And then Nate's keeping us on our keeping us on our breaks, keeping us on everything. And he apparently told us 10 times that we're not on the
Yeah, I mean, I want people to be very clear. I don't always have the ability to watch the chat, produce the show, and also have an honest conversation with these guys. So sometimes I miss out on super chats. Sometimes I miss out on info that breaks in our chat. I do appreciate you all in the chat that do break the news, keep us on task, and things like that, because I can't always do it all. So thank you for that. Appreciate you.
Drew Garrison, how much do I need to pay to host this show for one day? You want to host tomorrow, Drew? Just come on in. Just come on in. Tomorrow. Come on in. You're more than welcome here. Like I said, there will be a time very soon where this setup isn't going to look like it currently does. There might not be the desk up here. It might be a little more laissez-faire in this studio. But
laissez-faire.
I think Mouse Cop. I got nothing else to say about the Reds today. We're gonna talk about the Bengals here soon. I think Mouse Cop made fun of me a couple days ago for what I say on this show, and I feel. Have you guys seen Glass Onion?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
The Knives Out movie. Ed Norton. They make fun of Ed Norton for making up words and just saying words to sound smarter. I 1,000% do that. A lot of the time, my words do not equate to what I'm trying to say. It does. I think I used enclave in the wrong context a couple days ago. So yeah, if you listen closely, you want to talk about being a phony? That's just me up here, just phoning my way through it, just trying to get through it time by time. We're 30 minutes in and we're already out of Reds talk. Man, Elliot, get better soon. Get better soon, Elliot. Jimmy C.
The Reds today activated from the 10-day injured list outfielder TJ Friedel, left thumb fracture, and designated for assignment infielder Mike Ford.
Let's go.
Mike Ford,
back to
DFA.
flipping burgers and fishing.
What is your favorite memory from the Mike Ford era?
Last night's ugly strikeout to end the game because it's the last time I'll ever have to see his fat body in the batter's box choking away the Reds game. Mike Ford was out on the boat with his dad fishing when the Reds gave him the call because they told him he wasn't good enough for the majors about 5 times, and now he's back where he belongs.
Now, you are a Ford guy. You
Big time.
drive a Ford show truck.
Yeah, Ford truck.
Would you define your truck as a show truck or a work truck?
I like to say work truck, but it's a lie. It's a lie. I've worked for Chatterbox with my truck.
That is true.
So
that is true. You
it's
stole
hard.
the table.
Hard. I did steal a table. I
You did
was
steal the
getting paid one way or the other.
Right. He said, I'm not interning for free. I'll take this table. How much money did you make from your internship over the summer? One
6 foot
6-foot
white
long
plastic table.
Folding table. That's what I got paid. My favorite thing about Mike Ford is that this team, and things have seemingly, maybe it's just because you got 4 wins that things seemingly calmed down a little bit, but when this team was spiraling just 2 weeks ago, we were acting like Mike Ford was going to save the season.
Casey thought he was some 19-year-old
I
up-and-coming superstar.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be one of those guys like Steer and CES or whoever. I thought he was one of those guys. He was just a year later. And no, he's 31 and he's been up like 3 or 4 times and he's failed every time he's been up here. I was just wild to me. And then you see him, and then you physically see him and you're like, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense."
I think we're a little hard on Mike Ford. He is listed, okay. He is listed 6 foot tall. Anyone want to guess his weight?
Ugh, I don't want to be disrespectful to the man.
275.
He's listed at 225.
No
with
way.
all due respect, Mike Ford.
Mike, who we fooling
You
here?
look, you ate 225.
Who we fooling here? Who we fooling? Princeton? Did we know? Did we know he was an Ivy schooler?
No.
Ivy leaguer?
Which one?
Princeton.
That's a real one.
That's what's a fake one? Penn?
We're not going to go there.
Penn?
Oh, yeah.
Is that the
Oh,
only
yeah.
fake one? Dartmouth?
There's a couple.
What?
Dartmouth's mascot is a keg. That's not an Ivy League school.
Okay. Let's break this down. What's a real Ivy League school and what's a fake one?
Well, obviously Harvard, Yale.
Harvard, Yale.
They're the headliners.
Princeton, yes.
Princeton, real. Brown, real.
Cornell.
Columbia.
Now you're getting Columbia. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Columbia's like Miami, Ohio.
That's fake.
Yeah, that's fake as it gets.
Columbia. Penn.
Penn. The ones
Just
that
Dartmouth.
are decent at sports.
Cornell is the one that's on.
Cornell's right at the split is Cornell.
The split. Am I missing any? Are we missing any up there?
Believe it or not, I didn't look at the Ivy League schools when I was applying to college, so
Didn't you get a full ride to Alabama?
it doesn't take an Ivy League to get there.
I think Jacob's selling his smarts short. I think he could have been an Ivy leaguer.
I think he could have been. For
Could have
sure.
been an Ivy leaguer. I could not. I had a 2.7 GPA.
Ivy League of the South, Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
There you go.
That's what they say.
Miami University's slogan is it's public Ivy. It's public Ivy.
They just lost the #1 public Ivy ranking to
Did they?
Wisconsin-Madison
Oh no.
this year. Yeah, first time in like a decade.
Oh no. Man, we got to get back on top here in Southwest Ohio. Man, what does this show become? What does this show become? We talked about Ivy League. I told this story before. I graduated with 115 kids at Stephen T. Baden High School. Anyone want to guess what my class rank was? 115 kids is what I graduated with.
110.
I was not 110.
All right.
Cut me some slack.
74.
I was triple dig.
Oh,
I was triple
104.
digits.
Okay, don't act like 110 was a bad guess then.
Well, I mean, you're telling me that I was I did better than 5 kids.
You did better than 15?
14. I did better than 14 kids is exactly the number. 2.7 GPA I was proud of that. Man, it was sad. It was sad. I remember we had iPads at the time, and they send you an email telling you your class rank, and everyone's, what were you? Oh, I was 42. Oh, I was 26. Reed, what was yours? I didn't get the email. I didn't get that email, guys. That was just, they must have sent it to the wrong email address. It didn't come to me. 101 out of 115. Shout out. I don't even know what my class rank was at Bluffton U. I don't know how many people graduated. Anyone want to take a guess what the enrollment? Jimmy C. I went to Bluffton University. I don't know if I've ever told you this. What do you think the enrollment is at Bluffton University? How many students? First off, do you know what Bluffton University is?
No.
It is a Division III school in northwestern Ohio. If you're
You
looking
said it's
for
by Northern Ohio?
Ohio Northern. If you're looking for a Mennonite-based education in a small rural town setting, Bluffton University is your spot.
Okay.
But you want to guess the enrollment of Bluffton U?
Yeah. 700.
850. 850.
Close.
I'm sure that Jacob took a class at Alabama that had 850 students.
Damn near. Yeah.
850 students in the auditorium.
It's crazy.
But, yeah. All right. Reds go for the series win today at 110. We're going to watch that with our members. I can't even remember what we're talking about anymore. But we're going to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals because why not? Why not here on this Wednesday at the end of May? Why not talk about the Cincinnati Bengals? And here's what we're going to do. We're going to play a little game with everyone in the room. Me and Casey have done this a few times. I would like to hear Jacob's opinion. We're going to talk about all the acquisitions that the Bengals have gotten this offseason. We're going to do free agents, and then we're going to do draft picks. And we're going to talk about which one we are most excited about for this year. And I'm going to let our esteemed producer, Casey McAllister, lead off. Casey, which free agent are you most excited about this year for the Cincinnati Bengals?
Ooh, most excited for, huh? I think for me, it's going to be. I think Mike Gesicki is my most excited free agent because the expectations I think are low for him, and I think he's going to shatter the expectations of what you can get from a tight end in this offense. Never had anything like him physically. He's one of the most athletic tight ends we've ever had. Fits our scheme really well in terms of being a receiving threat. Most of the time we've went after guys that are able to do a little bit of both but never really excelled in one thing. Gesicki really excels in the receiving game, and I think he's going to be taking a lot of snaps at that third receiver type role. Whatever Tyler Boyd's role was, Mike Gesicki is going to be receiving the bulk of those snaps and those targets. So for me, I think it's Mike Gesicki. I think he's going to do great things in this offense, and honestly, I don't expect him to stick around. I think he's going to do so well next year that he's going to get a big contract somewhere.
Is one of the most, and maybe I'm misremembering this, we talk about Hayden Hurst in this city like he was a superstar. Am I misremembering Hayden Hurst on this team? Was he that important to the offense? I mean, yeah, he was a role, but it feels like it's the exact same role that Tanner Hudson and Drew Sample completed last year. It seems like the same role that C.J. Uzomah was 2 years ago. Am I misremembering Hayden Hurst? Because I think Mike Gesicki can clear what we've had in tight end production.
Hayden Hurst only had 415 receiving yards his 1 year in Cincinnati. Obviously, some of those
had a couple of touchdowns
in big moments.
Correct.
The big catch in the AFC Championship game. Obviously, some stuff like that. And I think his personality lended himself more to being a fan favorite than anything he actually did on the field. Also juxtaposed with how bad the tight end was before he got here. The tight end position, how unproductive it had been before he got here. He kind of flipped it around for the Joe Burrow era of the Bengals. He was the best thing we had seen, and Gesicki is going to blow that out of the water. I think Gesicki's going to push 600, 700, 800 yards this year. Like Casey said, I expect him to be Tyler Boyd. I think he's going to be the slot receiver. You're going to see a lot of Eric All, Tanner McClacken, the rookie tight ends, Drew Sample, and Gesicki's going to line up outside. And I think he's going to blow the tight end receiving numbers that we've seen from the Bengals in this iteration of this team out of the water.
Do we think that Mike Gesicki is one area that it's sometimes talked about, maybe not talked about enough, is that the Bengals at times have struggled in the red zone. And the reason for that being is, well, one thing that you need in the red zone is good blocking. And the Bengals haven't really had that. And then the second thing is they haven't had a true tight end target to get to. Mike Gesicki can be that. Do we think that Mike Gesicki is going to heavily influence or heavily impact our red zone offense?
I think so. I think so, Reed. I think he, to be honest with you, I think he might be a better fit in terms of red zone threats more than Boyd ever was. Boyd wasn't very good at getting over the middle in the red zone. I think we really haven't had someone that can traverse and navigate the middle of the defense in the red zone. We usually try to attack the outsides. That's where our strengths are, right? We got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Those guys are really good at jumping up and get the ball. Other than that, trying to like sneak it in or punch it in with Joe Mixon, we've never really had a guy that could, get the contested ball or create just enough separation in the red zone, in the middle of that red zone defense to make a difference. I think Gesicki, you're going to see a significant boost in that department for sure, 100%. I think he can read zones. I think he can be a better jump baller. He might be one of the best jump ball guys on the team, second maybe to T. Higgins, and he might even possibly outperform T. Higgins in that department. He's just a bigger dude. So that being said, I think with Joe Burrow's skill sets, being a very accurate passer,
Right.
and the physicality
Right.
that Gesicki can bring in the passing game, I think he's going to do a lot of really, really good things in the red zone.
Could not agree more. Chad Waits with a $2 super chat. It came across the screen not too long ago. Wilmington Quakers greater than sign Bluffton. Listen, the Mennonite versus Quaker thing, the pacifist religions, you got to go Mennonite all the way. I came across an eighth. So my dad went to Earlham, which is also a Quaker school. The Earlham, they were at one point called the Fighting Quakers, which is an oxymoron.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was an Earlham Quaker, and I remember I came across my 8th grade graduation book from St. Peter and Chain School here in Hamilton, and it says, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And it said, "I want to be a Major League Baseball player." And it said, "Where do you want to go to college?" And it said, Earlham College. And I was like, those two things don't add up. I'm going to Earlham College. I'm not going to be an MLB baseball player. So, yeah, that was old silly boy Reed Mouse. Jacob, what free agent are you most excited about for this upcoming?
I think everyone's circling the big names, Zach Moss, like he said, Mike Gesicki. I think we're going to get into some of the other ones. But my favorite free agent that we signed this offseason is Austin McNamara, the undrafted free agent punter out of Texas Tech. He broke the record for longest punt average in his career, 46 yards per punt on average over his career back since 2019, a 48.2 average in 2021, which is the all-time single-season record in the Big 12. Austin McNamara is incredible. If you watched this team last year, you understand how bad Brad Robbins was and how much not being able to flip the field and not being able to capitalize on when you can't get the first down really hurt this team with how bad Brad Robbins was. Obviously drafted him just last year, but I would be shocked if Austin McNamara is not our punter this year. I was even okay with drafting him in the 6th or 7th round. Getting him as an undrafted free agent is an absolute home run. Torrey Taylor out of Iowa, obviously, but I think McNamara could be an even better NFL punter.
So you don't think that Brad Robbins is a weapon of mass destruction?
For the other team. Yeah. I would say a 40 punt average in the NFL is a weapon for the other team.
In hindsight, you remember this video that came out last year of Brad Robbins answering the call that he got drafted and he didn't believe it?
Right.
In hindsight,
Bad sign.
not a good sign.
Bad sign.
Not a good sign when the guy's like, wait, you're seriously drafting me? That's how I would react if I got a call. If I answered the phone and it's, "Hey, you're gonna be our next linebacker," I would giggle. I'd giggle at because that's a silly pick, and Brad Robbins knew it. Maybe we should have known it too.
A lot of people are overlooking a punter in the chat. They're saying a punter can't be a big-time signing. We're going to score a lot of touchdowns, Joe Burrow and the whole offense. That's great. I couldn't agree more. If he punts 5 times this season, that's fine by me. I just wish they're a little bit better than what we saw last year. I think McNamara will give us that.
If we had a better punter in the AFC Championship game, we go to back-to-back Super Bowls.
Right. Punters matter. Kickers matter. Punters matter.
Special teams.
Absolutely.
Special teams matter. Casey,
Special
you
teams,
excited
special
about
players.
Yeah, special teams, special plays, special players.
I disagree.
However that goes.
You disagree?
Go for it on 4th down every single time.
Yeah, what'd you guys pick, Jack Fox?
Jack Fox is a great punter,
I know. Punters matter.
but we don't punt.
Wait, will we ever see that across the board in the NFL?
No punts.
Like, very little, because you still got to punt every one. Like, 4th and 30, you got to punt the ball.
I think we'll get there. It's just going to take a team or two. If one team stops punting and going for it on everything below like 4th and 5, it's going to end up catching on if it works. It's always if it works.
I mean, the Lions went for it on 4th and 2 inside their own 20 on the first game of the
cost
season.
you the NFC Championship.
Well, I was talking the first game.
Oh,
of the season.
okay.
Yeah. And they got it.
If young Sheldon can convince his dad to not punt in his JV football games, then one day we can convince the NFL to not punt. Jimmy C, you're throwing your ring in the hat. You're throwing your hat in the ring when it comes to Cincinnati Bengals. Which free agent are you, as the Detroit Lions fan, most excited about for this city?
Yeah, I think the Bengals know what they have on offense, especially if Joe Burrow stays healthy, which we can get into more later. Yeah. But I think it's obviously Geno Stone. Safety coming over from
a rival.
From the Ravens.
Right.
So that says something. He wants to be here if he's coming from the Ravens.
Right.
A rival. And he was second in the league in interceptions last year. He's gotten better every season since he was drafted in 2020. And I think it's a secondary that struggled at the end of last season. Mm-hmm. And I think outside of the Joe Burrow injury, that was one thing that held the Bengals back from winning some games, is struggling on the backside of the defense. And I think he's going to beef that up with the other guys back there. He'll be really strong. And I think having a proven guy back there that we know is going to be reliable is huge. And I think Geno Stone's going to be just that. Yeah,
there's a kind of a sentiment in the NFL that you don't want to – like the Bengals are buying high on Geno Stone. He's a 24-year-old that's been a serviceable starter, but he exploded last year. Had a career year last year. But might I remind you that this team has done pretty well at getting guys off of career years. Everyone, when they signed Trey Hendrickson, he's not that good. His sack numbers are inflated. Well, he's been pretty dang good since he's been a Cincinnati Bengal. Geno Stone, I think, gives tremendous talent to a young secondary. And we talked about it yesterday in a video that we're going to re-release later this afternoon, talking about, is this secondary good? Because that was a big question mark for the Cincinnati Bengals. Is this secondary good? Geno Stone, Jordan Battle, Von Bell, I think that's a safety room that can compete. Everyone wants to talk about how we got rid of Jesse Bates. I think that the Jesse Bates storyline will cease to exist by year's end. And one thing I want to talk, everyone wants to talk about the Ravens offseason. They lost some key pieces on that defense. Congratulations on getting Derrick Henry. I'm sure your number one offense can be the number 0 rushing offense now. That means nothing to me. But they lost some key pieces, including a Geno Stone. Anytime you can take talent away from a very talented team like the Ravens, bring them into your fold, I like that move a lot. I think when we got him, Casey, you weren't that big on Geno Stone, but I think you're slowly getting excited about Geno Stone.
I mean, the reason why I like Geno Stone is the money that we like. The contract was just, you couldn't have asked for a better pickup.
2 years, 15
for the talent that you're getting.
Correct.
Yeah, I think that's a good deal for them. I would have been. Yeah, I mean, I out of all the safeties that were available, I think that's a good deal for them, a good signing for them. I'm still just gonna be hesitant on saying like he's gonna full on replace what we had back there with Bates.
No, he's not Jesse Bates.
Right, he's not Bates and Bell. We have him back, but the tandem there was one of the best tandems in the NFL for the longest time. And our defense has not been the same since that tandem left. So I'm just curious how much of an impact he will have going forward. I like the pickup a lot for the team. I think it's a smart move. I think it's a good idea. All those things. I just think I'm not ready to crown him like he's the answer yet. I think there's still going to be questions until we see him operate in this defense, because as of right now, we're 0 for 1, 0 for 2 on safeties filling in for Jesse Bates. 0 for 1. So
unless you can consider Dax Hill an 0 for.
I would consider that an 0 for.
Okay.
So 0 for 2.
Well, Jordan Battle then 1 for 2, 1 and 2, 1 for 3.
Yeah, but you get my point now. It's just a tough position to learn in our defense. So I'm not ready
I
to
think
crown
as a
him
whole,
yet.
Bengals fans need to stop saying Jesse Bates' name.
Thank you.
It's over. He's
Thank
been
you.
gone for 2
Thank
years.
you.
Bringing up Jesse Bates and talking about the current safety room is a completely useless topic, in my opinion. He's gone. He's not here. We were never going to re-sign him. It never made sense to re-sign him.
$17 million,
Let him
whatever
go.
he's getting.
I'm not paying a safety that much, even if he's the best safety in the league. I think that we made the right decision letting him go, and you're going to always struggle trying to replace an all-pro player. It's just what it is. And when you have guys like Joe Burrow and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, you can't have all-pros on both sides of the ball. You pay your offense, you draft your defense. Obviously, you missed on Dax Hill. You would have loved that to hit, but I think the Bengals made the right move.
Golly,
Yeah, I mean,
thank you, Jacob.
I don't disagree with what you guys are saying, but they failed on the plan is what I'm getting at. Like,
See, again, I
That's-
disagree. I think you're
I
judging,
think the
results.
safety room looks great now.
You're judging results and not the process. The process was you fell in love with a guy who was supposed to be a top 20 pick who fell to you after you made the Super Bowl. You let Jesse Bates walk with a contract you were never going to be able to match, and he busted. But busts in the first pause.
They
He
fell-
busts in the first round. It happens. People
Right.
miss on draft picks, and obviously it's not ideal, but
they
I
fell in
love the
love.
plan that they went with, even though it didn't work.
They fell in love with a guy that played majority 80% of his snaps in the slot, and they
Yeah.
thought that would work for replacing Jesse Bates. I don't know. I hate the process too. Can we say that?
That is fair.
Can we
That
say
is
that?
fair. Hating the process is fair. I don't think it's fair to hate the results.
One thing that people got to get out of their mind, and this is almost exclusively happening with the Jesse Bates. They look at Jesse Bates still being a top safety in the league, and they go, man, we made a terrible decision. The decision never hinged on if Jesse Bates was going to be good or not. That was never the decision to sign him for $17 million. The question was, is that what a safety is worth? Like, Jesse Bates will continue being a top-tier safety in this league, but it doesn't change that paying $17 million to a safety doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you got to pay a wide receiver and an offensive line and a $55 million quarterback. That never made sense. And I love the shape of the safety room. I really do.
I do too.
I think between Geno Stone, Jordan Battle, you can create Jesse Bates and I think Von Bell could be Von Bell. I don't know. I'm just excited about the safety room. The real question for me when it comes to the defense is can the linebackers get back to where they played 2 years ago and not what they played last year? Maybe they were asked to do too much with a bad safety room with Nick Scott. They missed on
Correct.
Nick Scott. Nick Scott was a dud. Was a dud sandwich. DUD dud. But that's beside the point. All right, what free agent am I most excited about? I feel like I've done this a few times, but I'll continue to say it. The National Football League tells you where value is. They pay quarterbacks a lot of money. They pay tackles a lot of money. They're starting to pay wide receivers a lot of money, and they're starting to pay edge rushers a lot of money. Where else do they pay? What else do people hold in high value? That is an interior pass rush, and that's why Sheldon Rankins is my favorite free agent that the Bengals signed this year. Because you look at what has won the Super Bowl. Chris Jones being a center force on the Kansas City Chiefs, interior pass rush. Aaron Donald for the Los Angeles Rams single-handedly won that game. Him and Cooper Kupp single-handedly won that game for that Super Bowl against the Bengals. Vita Vea. This is what is becoming quickly one of the best premiums in the NFL. Behind quarterback, if you can get someone on the interior defensive line that can wreak havoc, I think Sheldon Rankins can be that. Sheldon Rankins is a big reason why the Bengals lost to the Texans this year. 4 sacks. I think he had 4 sacks in that game. If Sheldon Rankins can get to the quarterback and help out Trey Hendrickson and create a pass rush that we haven't had since Larry Ogunjobi, then this team is once again in that tier that can win the final game of the season. Maybe I'm putting too much stress on Sheldon Rankins. Is this defensive line going to have the same look that it had with DJ Reader? No, he doesn't play the same way as DJ Reader. It's an entirely different way of playing. But I think that Sheldon Rankins has the opportunity to create something that this current era of Bengals hasn't really seen. And that is an interior lineman that frequently gets to the quarterback. Jacob, thoughts on Sheldon Rankins signing?
I love Sheldon Rankins. I think it was a great signing. I was holding my breath, hoping we were going to sign a true nose tackle after letting Reader walk. But with the way the draft went and drafting Chris Jenkins and signing Sheldon Rankins, I think we should expect a new look from the front of the defense this year. Obviously, like you said, no true nose guard on the roster, really, other than McKinley Jackson, obviously a rookie from the mid-rounds. But I think we're going to see a new defense with a lot more pass rush from the interior, which is something we haven't had, like you said, since Larry Ogunjobi. So Sheldon Rankins, if he could even get 5 sacks, 6 sacks, that's a huge boost for this team that we haven't had production sack-wise outside of Trey Hendrickson, really. I mean, I love Sam Hubbard, but he's a run stopper. He doesn't do a whole lot in the pass game. So I would expect Sheldon Rankins to be second on the team in sacks behind Hendrickson, and hopefully that number's pretty high.
Do you think Sam Hubbard will start?
I think he will. I hope he won't.
Okay.
I hope Miles Murphy breaks out.
I think I'm in the same camp. Casey, you had something to say about Sheldon Rankins?
Yeah, I mean, I think Sheldon Rankins is going to be a big deal in this defense. This is the deepest our defensive line room has really been in a long time, I think. Even if you go back to like the Super Bowl era, or Super Bowl year, not era, I don't think it was as deep as it is this year. I think you can have a good defense without DJ Reader. With the construction of this team the way it is, not every team has a DJ Reader. Like that's like I don't want to overstate this because I was very high on DJ Reader. I wanted him back badly because I know what he provided for this team. But McKinley Jackson could do something very similar, maybe not as high of a level, and still get you the same results. So that's where I'm at on the whole ordeal. I think Chris Jenkins, too, like the depth that they have there now allows Sheldon Rankins to get the rest and be able to be fresh and be able to be the player that we know he can be. And that's a guy that can be very disruptive. I think that interior pass rush, if you look at the rest of the teams in the AFC North, I think they're now on par in terms of pass rush, to be honest with you. Yeah. I think they go toe-to-toe with a lot of those guys now. And I know that's competing with guys like TJ Watt and Myles Garrett, which they're on the highest end of pass rush. Right. And when you look at the rest of the roster and the depth that we have there on the defensive line, I think it goes toe-to-toe.
I'll never forget, we were watching a Browns game, me and my wife, where I tell too many stories about my wife, I think. But we were watching a Browns game, and she had very clearly never seen a man like Myles Garrett before. And she saw Myles Garrett, and she goes, "Oh, my God." I was like, yeah, that's a big guy. That's a big human being. There's some big human beings in the National Football League. I think we got a lineup. Do we have a lineup, Jimmy C? Do we have a Reds lineup?
We do have a lineup.
You pull that up as I buy time, and you're going to announce the lineup like, what's the PA announcer for the Reds? What's his name? Do we know his name?
I don't.
Oh, no.
I could not tell
Should
you.
I?
Come on, you don't even know the
You've
PA
been to a lot of
announcer for
Reds.
the
Yeah, I don't know the PA announcer's
Come
name.
on.
I don't think he introduces himself.
What's the PA? I think there's a PA. What's the PA announcer for MLB The Show? They announce his name in the game. Why do I want to feel like it's Mike Carlucci?
Maybe.
That'd be a really good poll.
I know John Shambi's in the booth
John Shaw.
Boog.
in the show.
Yeah, Boog. I actually didn't like turning on the show and hearing the same broadcaster that I hear from the Cubs games.
Cubs games.
It was like, bring back Matt Vasgersian. But do we have the lineup?
Yep, lineup, I got it.
Who we got?
Batting first, making his return, center fielder TJ Friedel. Batting second, everyone's favorite, shortstop Ellie De La Cruz. Batting
That is
third,
everyone's favorite.
the Candyman, Jamer Candelario.
Yes.
Batting fourth, right fielder Jake Fraley. Batting fifth, first baseman Spencer Steer. Hitting sixth at DH, Nick Martini. Hitting seventh, second baseman Jonathan India. Hitting eighth, left fielder Will Benson. And batting ninth, Elliot's favorite catcher Luke Maley.
It's a good lineup.
That is good. Is that a winning lineup?
It's getting better. It's getting better day by day. I'll tell you that. And,
Could be a winning lineup.
I'll take Friedel back. I'll always love Friedel back. Friedel's a great player for this team, great leader. He adds something we definitely need.
Joe Zerhusen is the Reds PA announcer. You've been to a lot of Reds games. What's your favorite name that he would announce?
Jose Peraza, easily, not even close. Yeah, he would roll it off. Jose Peraza. It was phenomenal.
I liked Jason Bourgeois. Joey Votto.
I like that he would let the Jay Bruce leave. He would just do Jay.
Yeah.
And he had to play Jay, and then the whole crowd would do the Bruce. That was very good. Yeah, always loved
When he
Jay
would be
Bruce.
on his slump, there wouldn't be a whole lot of Bruces.
No.
But when he was
But it
hot.
would sound the same.
You remember when I was a kid when Jay Bruce first came up and he did the arm twitch thing, and I remember being in Little League, and for a while everyone did that. Like they did the Jay Bruce little arm thing.
Sir Boy Wonder said Brandon Phillips was the best, and I would like to remind him that Javi Baez is better than Brandon
That
Phillips.
is true. Like Jimmy C, no one does bits better than Jimmy C. He's quiet, then it's just a bit. Then a bit just comes out, and that is true. Javi Baez is better than Brandon Phillips, and Sir Boy Wonder will get in there and go, Javi Baez better than Brandon Phillips? Ha. Just like the answer to what is the Mason Cubs fan joke? I don't get it.
Ha.
Someone explain it.
Someone explain it. Ha ha. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't remember Brandon Phillips being announced PA-wise.
I don't either, honestly.
I don't.
Not
I
that it was
remember-
any different than. Like, I don't remember it sticking out.
I remember Brandon Phillips' walk-up song being a big thing. I remember you'd hear a friend would go to the Reds game and you would ask like, "Wait, what's Brandon Phillips' walk-up now?" And you'd be like, "Oh, it's the new Lil Wayne track." And you were like, "Yes, all right, that's what it is." All right, it's 11 o'clock on the dot. On the dot, Nate. I got
just
it
for you,
right
Nate.
at 11. So we're going to do our ad reads before we talk more Bengals in the second hour. We're going to do some call-ins later on as well. Casey.
Oh,
Oh, I hate to break it. It's 11:01 now.
too long.
I haven't. Oh, it's tough. Encore Technologies, they provide IT solutions for a data-centered world with a suite of services from mobile computing, desktop to data center, supporting most centralized and work-from-home computing modules to improve efficiency and, Jimmy,
productivity.
yes,
That's
right. Productivity. Visit encore.tech. The path to innovation begins right here. And let me tell you about this lovely water, this bottled water right here. Pawnee Water, made right here in Hamilton, Ohio, uses natural limestone filtration, unlike
right.
the artificial processing that other brands use. The result is a healthy alkaline water, and some say the best tasting water in the world.
What are the
Visit-
ingredients in there?
Oh, the ingredients? Let me see.
Read the ingredients.
What
The
I mean,
ingredients?
certainly there's a long list of ingredients.
There's only one thing.
Only one thing?
It's water.
Holy cow.
Wow. Water. Some good old H2O. Yeah. It's the best tasting water in the world, guys. Visit Pawnee Water at PAHHNI water.com.
What is the pH level?
It's a solid 8. It's not a 7, and it's not a 9. It's not too high. It's a solid 8.
And how do you spell it? It's P to the A to the H N N I. Yes, that's Pawnee. P to the A to the H N N I. Yes, that's Pawnee. P to the hit it, Jacob.
I don't know that verse.
P to the A.
Every time we're Black Eyed Peas here on your Wednesday. On a Wednesday. We're having fun here in the Chatterbox Studios. So, some housekeeping things. Give us a like on the stream, please. Please. Help us. Everyone that liked our video, our Reds video yesterday, thank you for doing so. If you haven't, please go give that Ellie is a superstar a like so we can spread the good word of Ellie De La Cruz to the YouTube community. Likes, comments, they mean a ton. So we appreciate you guys for being in here every day. Hopefully Elliott Rearing is back tomorrow. We will have a members-only live stream watching the Reds game together. We will throw some bets together, and we will watch that. It'll be a lot of fun. That's coming at 1:10. We'll do that pretty much for every day game going forward, as long as we don't have anything in the way. Me and Jacob will not be here Friday. Me and Jacob, we have to go out of town for a board event that we got to pay the bills for. So it'll be Casey, Jimmy C, and hopefully a healthy Elliott Rearing. Maybe we can get the boss in here to brighten up your days. But we do have something big planned for next week. We just talked about it as a company, and we are excited about it. Once again, it might have something to do with golf, but I'll let the boss explain what's going on. And the week after that, we will roll out what the new era of the show is going to look like going forward based on the talents that we have in the room. There really won't be a host. This desk really won't be here anymore. It'll be kind of it'll be a platoon.
Laissez-faire.
Laissez-faire?
Laissez-faire?
Well, you got it right that time.
Did I pronounce it wrong the first time?
Oh, yeah.
What'd I say? Is it not pronounced laissez-faire?
No, it's laissez-faire.
Laissez-faire.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you said lazy-faire.
You said laissez-faire the first time. I thought it was a bit,
Laissez-faire.
honestly.
Laissez-faire.
Not right.
It's laissez-faire?
It's laissez-faire.
Laissez-faire.
See, I like throwing big words around. I don't know what they mean. I don't know how to pronounce them. And I appreciate Jacob for calling me out.
Just trying to help. Just trying to help.
I know. It broke my heart a little bit, though, because I could have sworn it was That's how I pronounce it, since I learned that back in U.S. history, back in sophomore year of high school. Oh, well. The world moves on, and so will I. Golly.
Just wrecked your world.
Will you call me out on all the things I mispronounced? Because I mispronounced.
I'll try.
A lot.
I'll try to keep tabs.
A lot. A lot. We gotta keep me on my toes. But it is what it is. It is. Blackmore said, "Reed, you make it hard to back you sometimes. Love you, Blackmore. Love you, Blackmore, as always." All right, so we did Bengals free agents. Now we're gonna do our favorite draft pick, and that's how we're gonna do it. And then the second half of this second hour will be a lot of call-ins. We'll do, please call in, and we can talk about Reds, we can talk about Bengals, we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. You want to talk about how I mispronounce words? We can do that. I also found out yesterday I'm a little mean to Elliot, and that's really why I called him. I called him to apologize for being mean to him. I don't want it to be mean.
Elliot's mean to me sometimes, so.
Elliot's mean to you?
Sometimes.
We need an HR department here.
We do.
Jimmy, do you want to head up HR? From intern to HR?
Jeremiah could head up HR.
All right, Jeremiah is going to be the head of HR. And
Is
that's
there-
what we'll do.
Yeah.
Jeremiah is going to be the head of HR. We just got to make sure everyone's nice to everybody. Jacob's allowed being mean to me when I mispronounce words. We'll allow that. You wrecked my world. You wrecked my world. Just like the Cincinnati Bengals are going to wreck the National Football League this year based off the guys they drafted.
And that's called a segue.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever happened to whatever happened to segues? Like actual
with the handles?
Yes, the handles.
Mall
Remember
mall
they
cops
came
have
out
a
in
monopoly.
2007. Every police department got segways,
Oh,
and you just see cops segwaying around. There were segway tours of every big city in the world. What happened to segways? When was the last time you saw a Segway?
It's been a minute. It's been a long time since I've seen a Segway. I think the electric scooters have kind of taken over the Segway market. The quick tour of the downtown. You hop on a bird scooter now instead of renting a Segway. It's much more convenient.
Are you a fan of birds and Lime scooters and
I
stuff?
hate birds, but I like the scooters. I think bird scooters are all right.
You don't like birds.
Hate
the
birds.
animals.
Hate birds. But the scooters are good. It's easy to get around and everything
Do you
like
believe that
pretty
birds
cheap.
exist?
The big ones, yeah. The little ones that you see like on the telephone wire, they're just charging.
They're just surveillance drones.
Yeah, they're just charging.
Just surveillance drone. I like those scooters. By the way, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I see kids riding scooters all the time now, and not like the birds or limes, like they are their own scooters. What has happened with that? Like, where did they come from?
I was a huge scooter guy when I was younger.
But they are like, I'm seeing them now more than ever. I go around my neighborhood here in Hamilton, kids riding up and down the streets in scooters, and they do not obey street laws. They do not stop at stop signs.
Are they bound by the same laws?
Yes, they're on the road. They're wheeled vehicles, powered. Yes, if you're on a bicycle, you have to obey by the laws.
You're right.
The street laws. You got to stop at the stop signs.
They
They
just
do that.
cruise on through.
You're supposed to even signal when you're
They
turning.
don't do the hand signals. That's
Hamilton delinquents.
I don't mean to be the old guy in the neighborhood, which, by the way, those ads about, like, once you become a homeowner and you become your parents, I do that. Like, I live on a somewhat busy street, and when someone comes coming down the street and I hear them, like, coming down the street, I go outside my house and I yell at them. I legitimately do that. I legitimately go outside and, like, slow down, kids live here. I don't have any kids.
Off my lawn.
Yeah. Angry guy, old man yells at cloud. That was me. That's me right now. And it's just part of growing up. It's just part of growing up. All right, Bengals draft picks. Casey, we'll let you lead off. We'll let you lead off this segment. Which draft pick are you most excited about for the Cincinnati Bengals?
Most excited about. I think I'm most excited about Chris Jenkins think I'm most excited about Chris Jenkins. I think that okay, can I cheat a little bit? I'm gonna do both defensive tackles.
I love it.
I think Chris Jenkins and McKinley Jackson. I like both of them. I think what they're going to provide for this team is going to be overlooked by many just because of their position, but what they're going to be able to provide, the depth, like I said before, I think they really have raised the floor of this position group significantly.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
And I think that the two of them together, one will be more pass rush oriented, I think. Both of them are very, very good in stopping the run, but one's going to be more designed to be able to pass rush as well. The other one's going to be focused mainly on stopping the run. McKinley Jackson being the run stopper, and Chris Jenkins being more of a good overall just threat up the middle. And I think that can't be overlooked. I think that's going to provide a really good floor, like I said. So,
what's interesting about Chris Jenkins? First off, guy's funny as heck. Those videos coming out about Chris, he's a delight. He's a delight to see. But I don't know. But when it comes to Chris Jenkins, he's a Michigan man, right?
He is. He is a Michigan man.
He's a national champion.
So he's a winner.
Luckily, we did not get a Buckeye or Notre Dame Fighting Irish, because not a lot of national champions come from those two schools. But Chris Jenkins, thoughts on Chris Jenkins, the draft that the Bengals took in the second round?
I like Chris Jenkins a lot. There was a huge run on interior D lineman there in this middle of the second round, beginning of the second round, where the Bengals kind of had their hand forced on them where the board fell, and you had to take a D tackle if you wanted to get one who was going to be able to contribute in year one. And they got Chris Jenkins, who I actually like far more than a lot of the D tackles who went above him in the draft. So I was high on Chris Jenkins coming into the draft. I think he's going to be a good locker room presence. Like you said, he's a funny guy. All the clips seem great. All the teammates at Michigan give rave reviews for how he was in the locker room and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really high on Chris Jenkins. I think he'll be a great plug and play piece for this team. And like you said, with Reeder and BJ Hill, those two will man most of the snaps in the interior D line. And these two guys will, like Casey said, bring up the floor of the unit, be great rotational pieces.
You know, one of the things that I think Chris Jenkins suffered from, which you alluded to a little bit, he suffered from prospect fatigue because he was one of the better interior defensive tackles, not named the Texas kids and Byron Murphy and the Illinois kid, Jerzon Newton. He was like third on that list. And then just throughout the process, his name just kind of became less and less relevant because all the other guys did this process of doing the combine and whatnot. Leading into that year, he was like third or fourth on that list. I mean, he's really good on film. So I like the fact that we got him. I think he was undervalued when they were in this whole process.
I hope we look back, because the Bengals are, especially in the Zach Taylor era, have been boom or bust in the second round. If you go back and look at Bengals draft picks in the second round, there's a lot of good ones, a lot of bad ones. So hopefully Chris Jenkins looks back. Justin Edgell, been a leader of men for 8 months now. He said 8 golden months. But what the hell has happened to this show? That's a good question. That's a good question. Need Elliott back. Go Irish, Jimmy. Oh, we got an Irish guy.
Go Irish.
Go Irish. Let's go. Irish. Unlike Michigan, they don't win national championships.
You got 11.
Yeah, when?
True.
Black and white. People were
Back
fighting
when
in
Rudy.
the war. All the
Rudy.
athletes were fighting in the war. You stack trophies.
Yeah, same with the Yankees.
Yeah, same with the Reds.
A lot of teams. By the way, I came across who has won the most NHL Stanley Cups. The Montreal Canadiens were unbelievable in the 40s.
Oh, yeah.
They killed it in the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
So a little fun fact about the Cup while we're talking puck.
Yeah, I love talking
So they
puck.
put the rosters obviously on the Cup for every team that wins the championship. All original 6 teams are on there. Canada obviously hasn't won a Cup in a long time. If the Maple Leafs don't win a Cup in the next 4 seasons, they will be the first original 6 team to fall completely off the Cup. They won't even be on the Cup anymore. The Toronto Maple Leafs,
They're falling
one of the biggest brands in all of hockey.
When was the last time they won? Do you know that off the top of your head?
I don't.
It's been a while.
I know. It's been a
been a
long
long
time.
time.
Been a long time.
The
I
Wings
can't
are
wait to
never
put
going to
this-
fall off the cup.
I can't wait for the stars to be put back on that cup.
This
Can't
year?
wait. Not the Frogers, but the stars.
We'll see.
But the
We'll
stars.
see.
They're going to win again tonight. Be up 3-1.
Jimmy C, which draft pick you most excited about? I know you had one ready in the chamber.
Oh, yeah. I'm very, very excited. Kind of under the wire, just the first-round pick, Amarius Mims. I think the Bengals need to keep Joe Burrow healthy this year, and they need depth on the offensive line. And Georgia guy, winner. Everyone loves winners. So I'm going to go Amarius Mims. Yeah.
Is Amarius Mims a project?
Yeah,
Is
but
he
he's
a project? Are we doing that again?
Which side of the? I guess I don't know which side of the aisle you guys stand on.
Jacob, you missed a whole ordeal that we had with Trace. He says he's not a project.
I'm with Trace. I don't
You don't think
he
he's a
is.
project?
No, I don't think he's a project at all. If you watch the film, he's a completely polished pass pro project. He's done. He's ready to go. It's just injuries. It's just injuries. He's done. He's ready to play at a high level. He could start right now if we needed him to without Trent Brown. I think very easily.
Do you think he will
be a
start
plug and
week
play
one?
right tackle? No, I don't. I think you sign Trent Brown. Trent Brown's going to be your starter. I think we do see him by the end of the year. I mean, there's no way both of these tackles stay healthy all year long. I think we'll see him. And I think we'll see him play at a high level as soon as he gets in.
So the argument is, if he's not starting, then he's still developing, right? Like you don't feel comfortable enough to have him start over Trent Brown? Then
I would not start him over one of the best right tackles in the entire NFL, no. I think Trent Brown's a top 5 right tackle in the entire NFL. And I think he's proven that year in and year out when he's been on the field. Obviously, injuries are a concern, and that's why you draft another tackle that can come in when he inevitably misses a couple games. But, yeah, I think Orlando Brown and Trent Brown are proven pieces in this league and are the best tackle duo we've had in a long time in Cincinnati. And I think Mims and Orlando Brown will be even better next year.
Well, that makes me feel good because that's kind of how I view Trent Brown. I think he's really good, but
He's big.
he's big.
We like the big boys here in Cincinnati. We like the big boy. Are you okay with the Bengals drafting for the future?
Amarius Mims was in my top 5 players I wanted at 18, so I was over the moon when we picked him. I was so
Well, the
happy.
last 3 picks have all been kind of like future projecting
Right.
thing, right? Dax Hill, he's not going to start right away because he already had 2 safeties that are really, really good. Miles Murphy wasn't going to start right away. He's going to have to earn his keep, and the same thing with Amarius Mims. Are you okay with that? The Bengals continuing to do that?
I am. I think all 3 years they pounced on a best player available on their board. I think Miles Murphy was supposed to be a top 20 pick. Obviously, he didn't produce as a rookie, but we'll see what happens this year as he continues to grow. He got better every single game he was in last year. Ended up having one of the best pressure rates out of any rookie edge rusher in the entire league last year. So I like to think that he's going to be a pivotal piece to this defense as we move forward. And I think Amarius Mims was the right pick. I think it was going to be really, really hard in a class with with an offensive line this good to not take a tackle. We haven't had a stable right tackle in Cincinnati damn near since Willie Anderson. So I think taking Amarius Mims and kind of locking that position down, hopefully for 5+ years, is the right move.
Hindsight's 2024.
It's a good joke.
The fact that the way the board fell to them and Amarius Mims was the pick, and guys that we really love like Jerzon Newton. You and I both really like Jerzon Newton. He ended up getting surgery on his other leg.
Right.
Like,
That's the thing you
literally
always wonder with the
like
draft.
a couple weeks after they were drafted. So, like, I think the best scenario actually ended up playing out when you look at it. There wasn't a guy after Mims that was like, super hell-bent on getting besides Newton at the time, I think. If I can remember correctly. Byron Murphy fell to like 15.
I would have loved Byron Murphy.
Yeah, I think we would have probably went Byron Murphy over we would have, you and I, Jacob, would have went Byron Murphy over Mims, but ended up not happening. Seattle takes Murphy. I think the best scenario actually ended up playing out, to be honest with you.
In all honesty, I like Mims for what Cincinnati does much better than J.C. Latham or Fuaga. I think they're both great run blockers, absolute maulers on the line of scrimmage, but we've never seen either of those guys drop into as many pass sets as we're going to ask the Bengals offensive line to do year in and year out with guys like Burrow and Jamar Chase. So my ideal lineman would have been obviously Joe Alt, but you weren't going to get high enough to get him. I think Mims is second, if not third, in that list for me with how he'll plug into the Bengals offense.
Speaking of Mims, you see Chase Wellman's message in the chat. He said he thought that – so Mims threw first pitch yesterday, right?
Yeah.
He said that he thought that it was Mims the rapper. He thought it was Mims the rapper.
quite.
He said he was singing, "This is why I'm hot" for like 3 straight innings. Fun fact, Mims is an acronym for Music is My Savior. There you go.
Wow.
There you go.
Interesting.
So Marius, Music is My Savior. That's his name. That's his name. All right, what draft pick am I most excited about? You guys stole all the good ones, so I'll say Eric All, local kid. Local kid, tight end. We haven't had a long-term solution for tight end. It's been a revolving door, much like right tackle has been in this city. So Eric All is a guy that, he comes from tight end U. He's very athletic. Once again, a local kid, went to Fairfield. Can he stay healthy? If he stays healthy, I think he's going to be a more than productive tight end. And I'm okay with taking big swings late in the draft. I said that for the longest time, the Bengals haven't had a knock them out of the park late draft pick in a while. And that's what makes good teams great teams. Quarterback's the number one, but then every single great team in the NFL has some 6th round, undrafted, 5th round pick that turns out to be a contributing part in a Pro Bowl type player for said team. Look at Puka Nacua last year for the Los Angeles Rams. Immediately made them contenders in the NFC. Can Eric All be that? I think he has the chance if he stays healthy, if he stays on the field. Is it a big swing? Sure. I'm okay with taking big swings late in the draft. And you can laugh and say 4th round isn't that late in the draft. I think it is. There's not a whole lot of contributing pieces coming out of the 4th round. If you look at the NFL, you look at last year and the year before, yeah, there's a few great players. Yeah, there's a few contributing players, but for the most part, it's teams trying to take chances, and that's what the Bengals did. I'm excited. I'm a little excited about Eric All. It doesn't have to be a major piece of this offense in year 1. Mike Gesicki is going to take that from the tight end role, and I know he's a little bit of a different tight end, but this team isn't going to ask a whole lot of out of Eric All right from the get-go, so the pressure's not going to be there. Can he stay healthy? Can he stay on the field? I think he has the opportunity to be a major piece of this Bengals team going forward.
We've seen how Iowa tight ends have translated to the NFL over the last couple of years. Obviously, you have guys like George Kittle and then T.J. Hawkinson, Noah Fant, and then just last year, Sam Laporta came in and was right away. You don't like to scout the jersey, but at the tight end position, when they have that much sustained success, it's pretty easy to just get excited about the Iowa guy.
Yeah,
Maybe
you just draft Iowa tight ends. You draft Notre Dame linemen.
Yeah.
You draft LSU and Alabama wide receivers and
Ohio State
wide receivers
yeah.
and DBs. Yeah, just maybe it'll work out. You guys kind of stole all my picks.
Well, I got another real good one.
Sling it my way, Big Pimp.
My favorite pick of the draft by quite a large margin, Jermaine Burton. I think Jermaine Burton was a top 5 receiver in this class off of just pure talent and what he puts on tape and what he does on the field. Obviously, the highs are really, really high with Jermaine Burton, and the lows are pretty low. He has some off-the-field issues. Obviously, that debacle in Tennessee a couple of years ago where he laid hands on the fan storming the field. But he seemed to have cleared everything up. He was a great locker room guy last year at Alabama. Everyone loves him in the facility, on the team. Always at practice, always in the facility, and after hours, stuff like that. So I think Jermaine Burton's going to buy in. You hear his interview as soon as he got to town. They asked him, they said, you're a team with T. Higgins, a team with Jamar Chase, just drafted Yoshivas and Charlie Jones last year. You're probably not going to get a whole lot of snaps right off the rip. And he said, well, I couldn't be more happier where I ended up. I just want to win. So I think this is a guy who's maturing. He's getting older. It's easy to forget these guys in college are 18, 19, 20 years old. It's right. They have a lot of eyes on him, and we all make mistakes when we're that young. I think he's maturing as he gets older. And I think that stuff's behind him. I think he's going to focus on football now and be a damn good player. He ran a 4.45 at the combine, one of the fastest receivers in the draft. He was the 12th graded combine receiver out of all the receivers they tested. He led Georgia in receiving yards in 2021 before he transferred to Alabama, and led Alabama the last 2 years. Like Jimmy said with Amarius Mims, 2 winning programs, 2 programs who were on top his entire time there. Obviously won a national championship with Georgia, played in one with Alabama, or played in a playoff, with Alabama. I really think he's not going to miss a single beat moving in, and I would expect by the end of the season for him to be the number 2 outside receiver. I think Jamar is going to play a lot more slot this year, and Burton and T. Higgins are going to be on the outside, and we're going to see Jamar really, really eat on the team's 2nd or 3rd best corner in the slot.
What's the bar for Jermaine Burton in his rookie year?
I think he could go over 500 yards.
That's where I don't think that's what he has to be productive.
No. I think, I don't even know that he's going to be the number 3 receiver coming off out of camp. I think Charlie Jones could end up starting in the slot and we move as the season progresses. I think he might eventually be the 2B to whoever the T. Higgins replacement is my view for Jermaine Burton.
I can't wait for Andre Yoshibas to have 8 catches and 6 touchdowns. I think he had literally 6 catches last year, 4 of them were touchdowns. I can't wait for that to happen again. I don't know what the bar is for Jermaine Burton. I remember, I think Trace, when he hosted, said I wouldn't put too much into the Jermaine Burton camp, and I don't think a whole lot of Bengals fans are. I don't think anybody's expecting him to be a 1,000-yard receiver right out the gate. I don't think anybody's expecting that at all. There's a lot of pieces in this wide receiving room. You got a great quarterback, a very accurate quarterback to give him the ball. I don't think the bar is very high for Jermaine Burton whatsoever. And you get a talent like him in the 3rd round, I like that pick every day. I like that all the time. And I like the way, even losing T. Higgins. T. Higgins is a phenomenal player. I like the way this wide receiver room looks. And I like to. It's going to be interesting to see what it looks like a year from today. It's going to be interesting to see what we have with guys like, Mike Gesicki's on a 1-year deal, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what do we have in a Mike Gesicki? Are we going to bring him back? What does Eric All look like? Are we going to continue to develop Charlie Jones and Andre Yoshibas, and even veteran pieces that have, done their job in a guy like Trenton Irwin? So it's going to be interesting what this wide receiver room looks like a year from today. And I think Jermaine Burton is a major puzzle piece to the future going forward. All right, well, that wraps up our Bengals talk here. We will open up the lines.
Yep.
The lines are open. I got to always look over to Casey to make sure that things are okay, because sometimes we ask a lot from Casey. I don't think we truly understand all we ask from him. But we just say things, and Casey's always got the answer right there. Maybe that's why we just throw things, because he's so good at his job that we know we just be like, hey, lines are open, right? And he's like, yeah. All right. So lines are open if you guys want to call in, and you can talk about which Bengals do you want. What?
Point out the number.
Oh yeah, it's 888-513-CBOX 2269. 888-513-2269. Casey was giving me one of these. And I'll give you a little inside baseball. I can't raise my hands right now because I'm wearing a gray sweatshirt. And you know what? Sure. Just show them. That's what we're working with. That's what we're working with. That's what
everyone
we're working
sweats.
with.
Everyone sweats.
Everyone sweats.
If I pop this quarter zip off, it'd be a puddle under here. So don't you worry.
Quarter zip in June.
It was 52 degrees when I woke up this morning.
It was a lovely morning.
I was
Took
chilly.
my dogs
I
for
was
a
chilly.
walk. It was lovely. It was absolutely amazing out. But yeah, it's a little chilly. Beautiful day to play some baseball. Cincinnati Adult Baseball League. Dodgers versus Thrashers tonight.
Thrashers.
I don't think I'm on the bump.
You gotta get those innings up, man.
I
That arm's gonna go into hibernation.
Well, I've been gone consistently. Big game this Sunday. Top team in the league. Playing the top team in the league this Sunday out of Lakota West High.
Hope that brass band doesn't play over.
That's right. We gotta get back home. Are you excited for this? So I told you that me and Jacob are doing a board event. We're going down to Center College, or as Casey likes to pronounce it, Centre College.
Yeah, that's right.
We're going down to Center College for the Great American Brass Band. I didn't do the event last year. It's our 2nd year doing it, but we're going to see some brass bands down there in Danville, Kentucky.
That sounds fun.
It is. It's gonna be.
It's going to be a blast. The Quality Inn in Danville, Kentucky is going to be jumping between me and Jacob sharing a room. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, Saturday night we got Poirier versus Islam, so it really is going to be jumping.
Oh, we're going to be coming home Saturday night.
Oh, well, we better rush.
We'll get out of there. We'll get home in a hurry. In about a 2-hour drive. We actually, I got excited. So I love going to country music concerts. This year I've seen Sam Barber, Dylan Gossett. I've seen the Turnpike Troubadours. I've seen the Red Clay Strays. I've seen Josh Malloy, all in this year. And I text Jacob, because I know he likes country music too, and I said, Sam Barber is playing 20 minutes from where we're staying Friday nights for $25 at some bar in Lexington, Kentucky. The problem is the brass band's going to be playing until 10p. They're going to be playing until 10p, so we're not going to be able to see Sam Barber. But
I don't even know why Reed told me that. Just to get my hopes up, someone to share in his misery, I guess. It was upsetting.
It's rough.
Haro, Reed, do you drink bourbon? Yes. So during COVID, it feels like everyone picked up a hobby. Mine was drinking, And
It's a good one.
I collected bourbon during COVID. I spent thousands of dollars buying bottles of bourbon. At one point, I had like 80 bottles of bourbon in my little one-bedroom apartment. And since then, I've realized how dumb that was. I realized how stupid that was, how much of a waste of money that was. I still like bourbon. I mean, I had like Pappy Van Winkle, I had E.H. Taylor, I had all the fancy stuff. And I haven't bought a bottle of bourbon in probably 3 years, just because I'm just slowly trickling it down month by month. And I'm getting excited because I'm getting to the end of it. I'm getting to the end of it all.
It's aged back there now.
Yes. So when you have bottles of bourbon, every like 6 months, you have to like turn the bottles upside down to re-wet the cork. Or else like you'll like go to get a pull and you'll pull up the cork and it's just broken and now there's a cork in your bourbon and you're like, that's not good. That's no bueno. And you go and pour and there's little particles of cork. What is cork?
Cork?
That's
Jacob, you're a smart guy. What is cork?
I don't know.
Jimmy, what is cork?
What is cork? An impermeable buoyant material. It is a phellem layer of bark tissue which is harvested by commercial use and by the native Southwest Europe and in Northwest Africa. Cork is composed of suberin and hydrophobic substance, and because it is impermeable and buoyant, it is used to clog stuff like that.
Mark Fetters brought in a great SNL, the Cork Soaker. You ever seen that SNL Cork Soaker
Can't say that I have.
bit?
Can't say that.
Go watch that.
Go watch it.
Go watch it. It's funny. I love when people tell you to just watch old SNL clips. You're like, okay. But go watch the cork soaking.
I love old SNL clips.
Yeah, so that's a good one. Jimmy Fallon. I think what's her Michael Jackson's sister, Janet Jackson.
No.
She was the co-star, the star of that episode. It's a good one. It's a good one. Yeah, what's funny is everyone looks back at COVID. At least I do, and think, what would you do differently? I certainly would not spend all that money on bourbon. I'd probably travel a little bit more. Casey had a much different COVID experience than us. Me and Elliot have brought this up multiple times. COVID was a delight for us. We didn't have to work.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, you guys, you don't even understand that I worked. You guys got your checks from being unemployed. I wasn't unemployed, so I didn't even get any of that extra money. I got paid like $12.50 an hour to go work at the news station. It was literally horrendous.
And
it
you
was a
just
horrible
moved.
time. I had just moved to Indianapolis to go work at an indie station by myself. Third shift. Horrible experience.
I think that I will vote for the president that says that every 5 years we'll just take a month off.
Yeah.
We'll just take a month off. No one works for a month unless you work in the important ones. Like we still need cops, we still need firefighters, we still need nurses and doctors.
Can't stop sports for that month, though.
But yeah, I guess
gotta keep sports playing.
Well, then we can't stop sports.
Can't stop work.
And we can't
we
stop
have to talk about it.
We can't stop hospitality because we need to go to restaurants and stuff like that.
Just my job.
Yeah.
Actually,
You
now
know
that
what?
I think about it.
Yeah, more than I think about it. You just tell me I can take a month
I'll
off.
just take a month off.
Right. I think there's European countries that take like a month-long holiday every once in a while. They live a different life over there in Europe. That stimmy money would have been cool. I'm sorry, Casey, that you had a much different. I played a lot of golf. I bet on a lot of ponies.
I wish.
That's where I started sports gambling, was during COVID.
So you started drinking and sports gambling during COVID?
COVID was real good for you.
Time out. I didn't start drinking.
You
in
got
COVID.
into drinking.
I got into drinking.
You made drinking
bourbon.
a bigger part of your life.
Correct. I said, everyone's picking up a hobby. I could paint. I could fix things. I could do all this stuff. Reed, what are you going to do? And I said, drinking sounds like fun. Played a lot of Fortnite. Played Fortnite till like 5 in the morning every night.
Everyone did that.
I basically was a college student again.
That's great.
I was like 2 years out of college at the time, and I was just like, let's run it back. Let's do it again. And I took one trip. I remember a friend of mine got an Airbnb like in April of COVID in Fort Myers, Florida, for like $200 for the month. I wish I could have done that one. That one seemed like fun.
Mark said sports gambling wasn't legal then. Well, Mark, sports gambling is always legal if you just find a way.
I don't know if legal is the right word.
It's always there.
It's always there. It's always attainable.
Correct. Well, like I said, I started betting on ponies. Oh God, I gotta pull up this video. So there was this one time I didn't bet a lot on these horses, but it would give me something to do. And there was this horse. I'll never forget. The horse's name was Cherry Way. Cherry Way was 20-1. Cherry Way, I put like $10 on Cherry Way win place show. So it was like a $30 bet, 20-1 on Cherry Way. I'm watching the race on my phone. I'm sitting outside enjoying my new hobby, which was drinking bourbon.
Perfect.
And I was being a regular Kentuckian. I was enjoying the Commonwealth, all that the Commonwealth had to offer, horse racing and bourbon. And Cherry Way makes the final turn, and the announcer, final stretch, goes, "No need to yell, it's Cherry Way all the way." Oh! Cherry Way broke his leg.
Oh my God.
20 feet before the finish line, and came up limp, and 3 horses pass. So it came in 4th. So I didn't win place or show on
That
this
hurts.
20-1 horse. I still have the video on my phone. It was heartbreaking. Cherry Way, I hope you're still alive. But based on what I know about horses, when they break their legs, you're probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. So I thought I had a
He's
bad
glue.
day. I thought I had a bad day. Cherry Way probably had a worse day.
That stinks.
Probably had a worse day.
Tough.
Lines are open. I'm running out of things to talk about.
So what was like your day-to-day process
During COVID?
Wake up.
Bet on the ponies.
Bet on the
drink
pony.
some bourbon.
I woke
Watch
up.
the ponies.
So
Actually start watching the ponies you were betting on.
me and my wife, neither of us worked. So you also would just make up reasons to go outside. So I'd wake up at like 10,
Yeah,
late day,
it's pretty good.
and I'd immediately go take my dog for a walk, because why not? I had nothing else to do. Then I would go work out. And at that point, I mean, I checked off everything I wanted to accomplish for the day.
Yeah, no, you were good.
I was good, right? It was like 1 So then I would take my dog for another walk. And then like 30 minutes had passed, and I'd take my dog for a third walk. And then, yeah, at that point, it was already like 4 p.m., and I was like, sure. I've got this new hobby. It's called sports gambling and drinking. So that's what I did. That's what I did with my day. And then I'd go play Fortnite with the guys, and there would be nothing worse. So we lived in a very small one-bedroom apartment, and my wife would go to bed, and I'd play Fortnite, and I'd be yelling at Fortnite.
Sounds like the life.
And she would come in the room just so mad. Rightfully so. I'm screaming at 2 a.m.
No, of course. At a
And she
cartoon
would just
video game.
literally look at me and just go, "What the hell is wrong with you? One more game. One more game." Yeah, it was fun.
It's always one more game. You got to end on a win.
Me and Trace did a podcast. That was our first podcast. It was called Quarantine
Ooh.
with Trace and Reed. If you actually go to our oldest tweets at Chatterbox Sports, you will see the old Quarantine video. So I actually, for like the first month, I actually was like editing those up. And then from like May on, I was playing golf and working out and walking my dogs. Ooh, we got a call?
We
got
do.
someone on the hook?
Oh, we do.
Are they screened?
I have not screened them yet.
All right, I'll let you screen them. I'll put these on. And once Casey screens this person, thank you for calling in. Ready to go? Hey, caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
PB's Ghost. I'm
PB's.
always hovering around. I'm not in the chat.
You have a much more high-pitched voice than I do, PB's.
I know. I can't help it. My nut cutters haven't dropped yet.
What's on your mind, PB's Ghost?
My favorite draft choice is Burton. I wanted to say I think he's going to be a bigger part of the team than people expect. I don't expect him to be, a Jamar Chase level, but I think that he's going to provide a lot more benefit than Charlie Jones is. I just don't think Charlie Jones can stay on the field.
Are you at all worried about like the character thing? Because I know that's a big reason of why he dropped. I know that's a big reason or a big concern him coming into Cincinnati. But we've dealt with character issues before in this city. Are you at all worried about Jermaine Burton's kind of the things that happen off field?
Nah, like you said, we've dealt with character issues before, and I think that there's enough leadership on the team that they'll kind of keep that in check. I mean, you know, you could viably say that Joe Mixon had off the field character issues with some of the things that he was going through, and it didn't affect the team at all. And I think Burton is going to be a benefit. I think that's going to make that offense a lot more deadly. I think that he is a superior talent from everything I've seen of him at Bama and at Georgia. He's a top line receiver if given the opportunity. And as far as bourbon, real men drink scotch. Sean Connery drinks scotch.
What's your favorite scotch? Do you like Isla scotch, single malt? What do you like?
I like single malt. When I drink it, I'm a teetotaler mostly. I'll have a scotch once in a blue moon. I didn't drink during COVID, but I did enjoy the solace that COVID gave me, not having to be around people with high-pitched voices like myself.
That's true. You do have a high-pitched voice. My voice is much deeper than yours. Did you pick up any hobbies during COVID?
No. I actually got rid of my PS5. I'm waiting for NCAA to come out. I'm psyched about that. Here I am, 60 years old, and I'm still wanting to play video games like a youngster. So once NCAA comes out later on this month, June that is, I'll be buying a new PS5, and we will be back in the NCAA football realm playing online.
Yeah, I think us at Chatterbox, we're going to start a league with a bunch of NCAA. We're all going to take a school and we're gonna play against each other. So you got to join in then. All right, PB.
All right, we'll do. Thanks for letting me on, and great job, guys. We love you. And even though I'm not always in the chat, I am always lurking because I am a ghost.
That's right. You're Paul Brown's ghost. Thank you for calling in, PB's ghost. We love you too. You know, PB, he used to give me crap for having a high pitched voice, and I think my voice is very low.
I don't see it.
Yeah, you don't see it.
I don't see it.
You don't see it at all. All right, thanks, PB. All right. Anyone else want to call in? Everyone's saying Reed likes Tito's. Reed likes White Claws. Sure. Reed orders Dirty Shirley's at the bar. Sure. Sir Girl drinks Bud Light. Sure. I don't know. Why are we taking shots at me now?
Now, that's one thing I'll never do is take shots at someone for ordering a girly drink, because I like beer. I enjoy beer. Almost every single time, the chalice with the orange slice and the umbrella tastes 10 times better. I mean, it is always delicious. You just got to get over the ordering of whatever crazy name it is, because it's always yummy.
I remember our boss, Trace, they went on a cruise in January, and Trace isn't a big drinker. And he came back from the cruise. He got the drink package, and he's like, when pina coladas exist, why do people drink beer? It's a fair question.
That is fair.
That's a fair question.
That is fair.
They taste a lot better. It's like
they work a lot quicker.
It's like, why would like candy taste better than like bread, right? Like it's a difference, right? Sometimes like waffle, you don't always want waffles in the morning. Sometimes you want eggs and you want potatoes. So it's just a difference. That's all it is. I'm trying to fuzzy navel. Yeah. I don't know what that is.
I mean, I just get around the girly drink thing by saying I want a sex on the beach, and that works.
Yeah. Don't we all?
Yeah.
Bonk. I remember one time I was doing, so at Chatterbox we have to do these coaches shows, and we get to interview high school football coaches, and we do that in the fall. And I was interviewing Ross's head football coach. Great guy, Coach Cummins. And after the show, sometimes he would like, hey, you want to have a beer? Yeah, sure, let's have a beer. And I remember the first time he's like, what do you want to drink? And I said, Mick Ultra. I was like, I'll take a Mick Ultra. It's what my family's always drank. I don't care. I drink anything.
Very good.
And he goes, oh, yeah, it's like water. And I was like, what do you drink? And he said, Coors Light. And it's like,
all right.
Like, it's
so
like,
you can't do that.
You cannot give people crap for drinking light beer if you are also drinking a light beer. Right. Like, if you're drinking a pint of Guinness, you then have the opportunity to make fun of me for drinking a Mick Ultra. But you can't just you can't just go like Mick Ultra.
Of light beer drinkers, the people that put themselves on the highest pedestal is Miller Lite drinkers. They think
do.
Yeah,
they
they do
think
think
they
they're
are
best.
so much better than you if you drink a Coors Light or an Ultra or a Bud Light.
Oops.
It's the same beer.
Are you a Miller Lite guy?
I'm a Miller Lite guy.
And
Yeah.
do you look down on people for? It does taste different. Like so, all the light
It does
beer-
taste different.
It does taste
Yeah.
different.
It does taste different. I don't know if I look down on people. I was kind of like inherited Miller Lite because my in-laws, they all drink Miller Lite. So that's
It is funny what you inherit from your like family and stuff like that. What they drink, like when like I said, my family drinks Mick Ultras. I go around my wife's family, they drink like IPAs and stuff like that. I can drink both. I don't care.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
It changed. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Are you guys old enough to like the IPAs yet?
Oh yeah, I've been an IPA guy for years.
Okay.
Yeah.
One-
I wouldn't say
one year.
I wouldn't say I have been for years, but like I've started to enjoy them more as of the last couple of months.
I remember when I was in college, I went to a gas station to get beer, and I was gonna get a sixer, and I was like, "Hey, what's good here?" And the guy's like, "Oh, I really like this IPA." And I remember I was like, "All right." I think it was like a grapefruit IPA. I take it back to the dorm, pop open the can. I literally did a spit take. Like I put it in my mouth. I was like, that's terrible. I just stared at this bottle, perplexed as to who would make this. And I was just like, this is the worst thing I've ever. Now it's delicious. It's just funny how things change in a hurry. We
You
used to,
refine your palate.
you guys are college students. What's the budget thing that kids drink now? Because like Four Locos, are those still?
Oh yeah.
Are those
yeah,
still in
sidewalk
rotation?
Sidewalk slammers.
Okay, so you know
Yeah.
about the sidewalk
Oh,
slammer.
I've slammed a sidewalk in my day.
I'm not a huge Four Loco enjoyer, to be honest. I think they're pretty terrible.
They are not good.
The new cheap easy drink is the Borgs. Have you seen the Borgs?
Yeah, you get
the gallon of water and you put a whole
vodka in it,
fifth in there,
and then you
just
put
Mio
Mio in
Energy. The energy one, not the regular one.
Drinking is never healthy.
Ever.
That seems incredibly unhealthy.
You wake up with the most vicious hangover from the sugar because there's so much sugar in those like fruit punch squirt juice or whatever. It's brutal, but boy oh boy,
The funniest
does
thing,
it get you there?
The best is Borg is an acronym.
Oh yeah,
What is it an acronym for?
Blackout Rage Gallon.
Blackout Rage Gallon. If there was ever an acronym that screams college frats, it's the acronym Blackout Rage Gallon. Because there was no artist that came up with they didn't mingle. You could name that so many better things. They just said, what is it? It's a gallon that'll make you black out and rage. Borg.
Naming it's the best part. Trying to work the Borg into a name or something. It's
Like
tough.
Sidewalk Slammer, that's got an artist feel to it.
It does. Yeah, someone really took their time with the brush strokes on that one.
Right. Yeah.
Borg is just kind of a splatter paint.
Speaking of like malted beverage, I got those
Cheddar Borgs. Are we Borging for the watch along today, boys?
No, we are not.
Yes.
We've got 13
do
minutes
it.
left in this show. We ran out of things to talk about 90 minutes ago.
So we're talking about
Elliot,
alcohol.
please get better. Reds, please start winning games. T. Higgins, hopefully
Get
there's-
extended or something.
Yeah, give us some news so we can talk about it for a week. We've ringed out the T. Higgins.
T. Higgins didn't show up today because he hates all of Cincinnati and everyone involved with the Bengals.
Via
That's
Adam
an Adam
Schefter.
Schefter.
Via Adam Schefter.
That's an Adam Schefter tweet if I've ever heard one. Borg. We got a caller.
Oh!
we got a line.
We got a caller.
We got to call him live.
This is someone new.
We're
as far as I
not
can
even
tell.
going to screen it. My pits are sweaty. Arms are weak. Mom spaghetti. Who's calling and where you calling
I'm
from?
out of sweater already.
Hey, this is Chase. I just wanted to say, Jimmy, you're the man. Go Irish. Where
Go
do you
Irish.
think, what seed do they get in the 12-team playoff? 1, 2, 3? What do you think?
Well, they can't get 1, 2, 3, or 4, so they're probably going to get 5.
Ah, good call. Good call.
Yeah, just because, the whole conference thing. Still don't understand conferences. They're pretty pointless, in my opinion.
Yeah, 4 teams. 4 teams need conferences.
Chase, you said that yesterday you went to the game and you thought "Music Is My Savior" Mims throughout the first
Yeah,
pitch.
I saw it on the TV. I wasn't at the game, but
Okay.
yeah, I saw it.
So, what is your favorite Mims song all time? Because mine is
only
the
know
only
two.
Mims song.
I only
Yeah, I
know
was going to
two.
say. I only know that one Mims song. So
I was trying to think of the other one that I know, but I can't remember the title of it. But yeah, This Is Why I'm Hot probably. Used to be my ringtone back in the day.
yeah, I'm hot because I'm fly. You ain't because you're not. This is why I'm hot. Speaking of hot individuals, do you think Marcus Freeman will be Notre Dame's head coach 5 years from today?
Yeah, he'll probably retire at age 70 as a leader, all-time wins, Notre Dame head coach probably.
So what? Can I just ask why you equated hot with Marcus Freeman?
Have you seen Marcus Freeman?
Marcus Freeman
Obviously.
is a beautiful individual.
Yeah.
He's a beautiful individual, and he's
Buckeye.
he's from Southwest Ohio.
Buckeye.
Wears the tightest shirts too. Looks great. Works out.
Looks
you
great.
can tell.
Yeah.
Listen, you work out to wear tight shirts.
Exactly. He works out, and he shows it off. But I would say, I forget what the question was. What was the question?
Will Marcus Freeman be the head coach? You said yes. He'll probably.
Oh, why do
retire
I like
Notre-
Marcus Freeman?
Yeah, why do you like Marcus Freeman?
I've always been a defense-first guy. I like to watch a team that has a good defense, and defensive coordinator. Seems like every year they got one of the top 25 defenses in the country since he's been there, I would say.
Who will win more regular season games, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish or the Cincinnati Bengals?
Irish.
All right, there you go.
I feel like that's an unfair question.
You feel like, I mean, the
Bengals
Irish
have more
are good at
opportunity.
locked in for 10, right? They're locked in for 9 to 10.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
One
absolutely.
or two more, yeah.
Right, so can they get one or two
Ri-
more? I think
Riley-
the Bengals. Go ahead, Chase.
I think Riley Leonard, I think, is going to be pretty good. They got there, so yeah, 10 wins. 10 wins for sure.
All right, do you think the Reds get it done today? You think they're going to win the series?
Absolutely, and I'm already on Ellie to steal a base, plus 130, plus 140. Tail me. Let's make some money.
All right, let's make some money. Thanks for calling in, Chase. Go Irish.
Go
Thanks,
Irish.
guys.
You know what?
Go
I'll
Irish.
give a go Redlegs because Chase called in.
Love
We
that.
love Chase. I'll give a listen. I don't hate the Reds. I think there's this notion that
Yes,
I
you
hate
do.
the Reds. I hate when the Reds are good. I don't.
That's fair. That's fair.
When they're bad, it doesn't mean anything. It just doesn't bother me. Mouse Cop said he's tailing. You know what, Chase? I'll tail that.
I'll tell that.
I'll hop on, mainly because we got paid today. So I got money to tail. So the check's cleared from Chatterbox. So maybe the checks won't clear after today's show. Maybe I'll just get canned. I cannot wait, A, for Elliott to get healthier, for B, to no longer. I would love to host this show in the fall. I think it'd be a lot. I mean, everyone wants to host during football season, but I just don't have a whole lot to offer during the spring because I don't hate the Reds. I don't like the Reds. I don't like the Reds. All right. Any other things we want to talk about before we wrap up this show? We ran out of things to talk about 90 minutes ago.
I know. We talked about alcohol for a while.
We're at 11:55. That's
I
impressive.
mean,
We're so close.
we could preview the FC game tonight versus Nashville.
Go for it,
Oh,
Casey.
Yeah, here's what
man.
we'll do.
You really threw "we" around there.
Yeah.
I think you can.
Casey,
you can review it.
Casey, I think you're writing checks that you can't cash right now. So you go ahead and preview FCC.
Yeah, they play Nashville, who's like near the bottom of the table. Nashville's only won 3 games on the year, so in terms of actual like good game here, I don't think this is gonna be a good game. Should be an easy win for FC. Really excited over this offense, how much they've improved over the last couple games. Having Kelsey, man, it has just been night and day. I mean, he's provided that spark that we've needed to just get over the hump. And as of right now, the win counter, I think, is sitting at 7.
There it
We
is.
need 5 more.
Hopefully that's 7.
There it is.
I think we will reach to 8. What does it look like at 12? I'm very curious. I mean, like, I don't think
I
we'll.
think I could guess.
You think you can guess
I think
what it
I
looks
can.
like?
I think if I close my eyes, I can envision what that looks like.
Stretch
No,
all the way across.
I can't do it.
Man,
Maybe one day we'll find out.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day. I'm hoping that FC gets there first. hoping that they get there first. I don't want that to happen for
the quickest it could come is 5 weeks. So
yeah, I mean the Reds will have plenty of opportunities to beat them.
The Reds will have 2 12-game win streaks in the time it takes the FC Cincinnati to get there first.
And 7 of those are going to be from the Cubs.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
mean. All right, here's how we're gonna wrap up this show. You get Daily Dozen up, ready to rock.
Okay.
And we'll do a little trivia, and that's how we'll end the show because nothing makes for better radio than doing trivia live.
Well, good thing we're not on the radio.
Well, we're still a podcast.
No, yeah, we are a podcast.
Still a podcast.
We are a podcast. Anywhere you find your podcasts.
That's right. We are
Off the
anywhere
bench.
off the bench. Presented by United Dairy
Presented by
Farmers.
United Dairy Farmers.
That's right. At 1:10 today, we are going to go live, watch along, watching the Cincinnati Reds. We had fun last time. I don't think we won a single bet other than when you guys bet that the Reds wouldn't score.
No, we
No,
did. Ellie Steele did hit for
whole-
Sunrise.
But on
Ellie
both
Cruz
teams
too.
to not score.
You guys, if you weren't members, you didn't see this, but the Reds are fighting for their lives, and these guys are cheering when Ellie De La Cruz gets thrown out at home plate. I'm the anti-Reds fan, and I'm cheering for Ellie to score.
I was cheering for Ellie to steal. Because I
Yeah.
had steal.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this Daily Dozen.
Let's do the Daily Dozen. And by the way, that run that was negated, that would have won them the game.
Yeah, hindsight. Can't do that. Can't play that game.
Hindsight's 50-50. All right, let's start with MLB. Let's get one on the board. After debuting in 2013, this starting pitcher has had 2 top 3 Cy Young finishers as he came in 3rd with Oakland in 2015 and was the runner-up with Minnesota in 2023. That's
Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray.
That's Sonny
Has to
Gray.
be.
2 ends. See him? Sonny Gray. All right, let's go history. Serving from 1983 to 2020, this American lawyer and jurist was the second woman ever to be appointed to Supreme Court. That's what's her name? Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
RBG.
Wait, sure it's Ruth
Yeah,
Ginsburg?
yeah.
You're right. Okay.
We taking NFL?
Let's go NFL. Hall of Fame linebacker Mike Singletary was the head coach of this NFC team from 2008 to 2010.
No.
Niners.
Niners.
Nice.
Let's go movies. Tobey Maguire and Jeff Bridges starred in this 2000. This would be Seabiscuit.
Seabiscuit.
Haven't seen it. Heard great things.
Yep. Tobey Maguire.
Spider-Man.
He's a shark on the poker table.
Ooh.
Yep.
Interesting.
Television. Before This Is Us, I don't know how to pronounce that name, had a lead role in this cult favorite NBC series that ran from 2006 to 2010 and featured Hayden Panettiere. That'd be Heroes.
I don't know who either of those people are.
You don't
Never
know
heard
who
of
Hayden
him.
Panettiere is?
Maybe if I saw the face.
She's the little girl from Remember the Titans. She's been
Oh.
in blonde girl. Very
Okay.
pretty. Yep. Music. Known for a lip-syncing scandal, this Germany R&B act had #1 hits. 1989, Blame It on the Rain, Girl, I'm Gonna Miss You, and Baby, Don't Forget My Number. God, what is that hip-hop duo's name? It's Milli Vanilli. Milli Vanilli.
Look at you.
Milli
know all
Vanilli.
these?
You're on a tear.
Like Millie. Yeah.
Milli Vanilli. Yep. Snacks and candy.
Pressure's on now.
This thicker version of Reese's Cup launched in 2003 and now has variations with potato chips, pieces, pretzels, and more. This thicker version of Reese's Cup, is it just the big cup?
Maybe it is Big Cup.
Reese's Big Cup? This thicker version of Reese's,
There's Big Cup.
I think it's just the big cup, right? Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not going to get NHL unless it's Mike Modano.
Oh.
Dallas Stars.
No, I know that. I haven't pulled up on my computer. I know this NHL one.
Wait.
Alexander Ovechkin finally got to the Stanley Cup after the Capitals defeated this team in the 2018 Eastern Conference Finals in 7 games.
Oh, I was thinking finals. Shit, I don't know.
Was
Eastern
it
Conference
Bruin?
Finals was the Golden Knights.
No, it would be it was the Penguin, right? It was Sid the Kid versus Ovi, right?
Was it the Penguins?
I
know
what
the
I would
finals
do
was
the
Golden
rival.
Knights.
I will do the rivalry. That's what I would
think
lean
so?
to. I don't know anything. I don't know anything. But in terms of the NHL story writers,
It could have been. I don't know.
Lightning maybe.
it's the Eastern Conference Finals.
Lightning
the
were
Lions
really
were
good
good
then.
for a
Lightning
long time.
Lightning won the next one.
Yeah, Lightning.
People
were
are
really-
saying lightning. in the
Rip
chat.
it. Rip it.
All right. No, not Lightning. Okay.
Nice.
All right.
Let's go. Big
mashup.
time.
Celebrity
Let's go.
mashup.
Let's bring it home.
That is Kirsten. No. That's Maggie Gyllenhaal from The Dark Knight, and that is Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
No.
It is definitely Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
It's Maggie Gyllenhaal and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Nice.
Ask goes before you.
Joseph what?
Gordon-Levitt.
Look at you, Readeroo.
These pits don't sweat for nothing.
What a time to be alive. That's a perfect grid.
I am so good. I am so good at trivia.
Hang the jersey in the rafters.
And I only knew Maggie Gyllenhaal because The Dark Knight is my favorite movie. Wreck-It Ralph is Jeremiah's. Jeremiah will be on the stream later today. He just walked into the room. But that does off the bench for today. That concludes it. Wow, pretty good for a 2.7 GPA. Thanks, RM. Appreciate it. I listen.
Bluffton's finest.
Bluffton's GPA was worse. I think it was like a 2.4.
Well, that's college. No one cares about
College.
GPA.
Harder.
Correct.
Get that piece of paper. You're good to go.
Correct. Which, by the way, people that say college is easier than high school, I strongly disagree with. Do you agree with?
Night and day. Couldn't agree more.
See,
I
here's the
disagree,
thing.
but
Here's the thing.
Notre
Well, you
Dame,
go to Notre Dame. I had a different college experience than most people because I had to go to class every day. I took a major that no one else took, so I couldn't cheat like anything like that. And I had to write papers. I had to write probably 5 to 6 papers a week, like
Woof.
long. Like it was much harder. It was much more tedious.
Business major at the University of Alabama.
Correct. Listen, business majors love them to death.
Fun time.
College
Fun 4 years.
looked very easy for business majors. Looked very easy, but I didn't take the class, so it's hard for me to judge. All right, see you guys. We'll see you tomorrow on Off the Bench. We'll see the
Peace.
members later on. We're going to go watch along as the Reds take the series away from the St. Louis Cardinals.